Welcome back to Factory Sealed. It is June 3rd, 2017. My name is Eric Peters, and joining me today, of course, Mr. Dan Curtis.
Wagwan.
Wagwan. Guanwan?
That's all. Just Wagwan.
Oh.
Wagwan, my brethren.
Dan.
Hello.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good. Guess who's here?
Who?
I can hardly believe it.
Who?
Back. Once again, Mr. Mike Tyson.
From the grave.
Hello.
Ah, see, you thought I was going a different direction with that, didn't you?
I did.
Did you just say back from the grave? I didn't realize I was dead.
Well, he thought I was going to say somebody else.
I am not your ghost attack. Don't bring me into that.
I mean,
What's this numpty doing back anyway? Why is he?
who let him in? Didn't we lock the door?
Eric keeps inviting me back. It's his problem.
It is. I have a compulsion. It was the pink G-string panty picture.
I assure you there was no pink G-string involved.
I'm not convinced, but you don't have to prove me out otherwise.
There was in my head.
I've worn a thong once and it definitely wasn't pink.
Ooh, butt floss.
Was it sparkly?
No, it was leopard print actually.
Hmm.
Do you guys hear a heavy breathing? Like a
Yes,
it
I
sounds
think
very
so.
sounds very posh.
Jeeves, beat my meat for me.
Oh my god. And on that note, Mr. Tom Reagan's back.
Good Lord. It's good to be back.
Are you sure about that?
Oh,
Welcome back,
No.
Tom.
what an image to come back to.
Goodness.
You started it.
Jeeves, shuffle my red rocket.
I feel like we could go on with that exact scenario for an entire show.
Let's not.
Is anybody really disappointed that Tom hasn't come back with just a full-on like Japanese accent?
Completely.
Like one of those proper like over-the-top like parody ones. Like,
Ah, shimasen.
Oh, I'm back from Japan.
it makes great honor to be here.
Hi. Hi.
We are playing a Final Fantasy VII.
Or he just speaks Japanese and he has one of those like terrible overdubs.
Oh man, that would be so sweet. It's part ventriloquism too.
I don't think that works on podcasts, Mike.
No, not really. Jeeves overdubbed me.
Jeeves,
That would be
subtitle
amazing.
me. Welcome, Tom. It's good to have you back.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Tom, it's been
Nice.
frigging ages.
It's been so long. I was in Japan for 3 weeks, which is the longest vacation I've ever had.
I get tired of vacation after 3 days.
Yeah, well, the thing is, there was so much we wanted to do and see that 3 weeks was the perfect amount of time. Because we
Not a
spent
minute more.
exactly.
You must remember that Eric has the attention span of something like a traffic cone. So,
Well,
yeah.
They've got a pretty good attention span. They sit out there for months on end.
this is true. Bad example.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the traffic cone was a unit of measurement.
Yeah.
He has the attention span of a moron. There you go.
What?
What were we talking about?
What?
What?
Huh?
Tom, how was your trip to Japan?
It was amazing.
It's a
Amazing.
fun place.
Did
It's a
you
fun
think
place.
about us frequently?
I did. Well, I took a lot of photos, and I shared a bunch of them on the Facebook group last week because there were so many. I could have just kept posting, but it would have been a big spamathon.
I noticed you
because-
dick pics out.
Jeeves, post my pictures for me.
Not the meat, Jeeves. Let's save that one for the private gallery.
Get that one and done in oil and hang it above the mantle.
Oh.
Yeah.
The original
yeah.
dick pic.
But yeah,
I'd want to prove that if I was you.
Oh. He fits
Good
in.
Lord. Yeah, Tokyo was incredible. Like, so much to see and do, and like it's just really overwhelming. Very bright lights, lots of music, lots of everything's different. Like culturally, it's totally different to the West. So we were just kind of just doing everything we could cram into one day, and over 3 weeks it got a bit tiring, but actually it was really fun. And as well as Tokyo, it was great to see places like Hiroshima and Kyoto, like slightly more traditional areas. Check out the shrines, and the Peace Museum in Hiroshima was pretty harrowing, but really worth the visit. Got to go to loads of retro game stores in Akihabara, and of course the Square Enix Cafe, which was a real highlight.
That's the one place in Japan that I would book a trip just to go to.
The cafe?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even know it was there. I'm so glad I didn't go.
Well, there are two. So there's one in Akihabara, which is very popular, has a small gift shop kind of tagged onto the end, and it's always fully booked. You have to be really quick to get tickets, and we didn't. But then there's another one that's in another part of Tokyo near the Square Enix corporate building, and that's called the Artnia, and that actually is really cool because it has this whole section at the back. I think I sent you guys some photos of like these really awesome figures from all the different Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest games, and then it has the those Final Fantasy crystals kind of embedded in the wall all around the edge, all lit up.
Yeah, that was cool.
And it has like Distant Worlds music playing like really faintly in the background while everyone's just chilling out, drinking coffee and eating pancakes and then buying merch. It's really, really cool vibe. Totally recommend it over the other one because it was, I don't know, it just felt more.
Didn't feel as touristy.
Yeah, totally, exactly that. Didn't feel as touristy, and they celebrated Final Fantasy a lot more in that cafe, whereas the other one was kind of a mix of other Square Enix games, and I'm not really that familiar, to be fair, with Dragon Quest. So they were really celebrating the 30th anniversary of Final Fantasy while we were there. So I
saw a news article that they were playing Final Fantasy music at different train stations throughout Japan. Like as a train would leave, it'd be the victory fanfare.
Yeah.
How cool would that be?
Yeah, I think we just left Tokyo just before that started.
Oh, Tom.
That's a shame.
I know. But yeah, and the retro gaming stores were really something else. I know you've been to some of them, Dan. But the ones I went to was just really overwhelming, and I just couldn't get over the preservation of everything from NES through to PS2, GameCube era.
I was just blown away when you told me that there are people on staff specifically there just to clean shit up.
Yeah. Oh god, they seriously look after their shit. Like,
yeah, not here. That's completely different.
It is a very clean country.
Yeah.
Like, there's a rule in place that you can't walk and have a cigarette.
Yeah.
And, like, you have to stand still or you can get arrested. It's bizarre.
Yeah, it's just so many little things like that. But like you say, Eric, yeah, there was a woman in the another retro store where she was cleaning an SNES cartridge with a toothbrush, like for a good 15 minutes, just one cartridge.
Wow.
And then that gets sealed up and like
Is
put
there
on
not
the
a
shelf.
chance that she's just skiving and trying to look busy?
Yeah, we've all done that in those jobs.
I'm just polishing this cartridge. Just might get ready.
But it's just so respectful of this archive of old games that any fan of gaming is going to really enjoy. Just anything, even if it's unboxed, which is really hard to find stuff there that's unboxed or without a manual, it's just really well looked after. I bought Final Fantasy IX for £1.20. So
Still sealed?
Almost $2. Yeah, it was not sealed, but it had like stickers, the manual, a warranty leaflet thing, and all the discs were in mint condition, and it was just chucked on the shelf, and it was in literally, it was called the junk shelf because it had been untested. And I just bought it because I wanted the case. I just wanted it for like decorative purposes. And it turned out to be like basically mint condition. It was just ridiculous, yeah.
But did you say they were still selling like factory sealed original copies of those games?
Yeah. Final Fantasy VIII and VII at least. for 2,500 yen. So they were about 15, about 20 quid actually. 20 quid for a brand new factory sealed Final Fantasy VIII.
Did you buy those?
So I didn't. The thing is, they were in like the Japanese equivalent of greatest hits.
Ooh.
Or platinum for the UK.
Ugh.
Yeah, so I was like not too fast.
I hide
but it
those
was still
games
cool
on
to see them.
the back shelf.
My
Oh,
Final
yeah.
Fantasy VII box is actually platinum.
Ugh.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Damn.
because I didn't get it when
Son.
I didn't get it when it was first released.
I thought you were a
Son.
fan.
I only got this game because my father bought it. I told
My
this story
father?
last. My father.
When my dad was my age, he bought the greatest hits version.
You did. Tom, did you
As
visit?
his father did before him.
Save
Shut
them
up.
dollars.
Tom,
Dan,
did
what
you
were gonna
visit
say?
Shibuya Crossing?
I did. Yes.
It's
Mental.
crazy, isn't it?
What is
Absolutely
that?
crazy. Yeah. It's just like a series of like crossings, all sort of overlapping each other. So when everyone's waiting to cross the road, they all turn to green at the same time, and so it's just a massive free for all to get to the other side of the road.
Ooh, yeah,
It's
I'm
literally
looking at
people coming from about 12 directions at once, and you just have to run for it. Just go no.
Yeah, it's crazy. The arcades as well, amazing. There's like two guys employed to walk around and clean the machines after each person's used them. So if it's
Really? I
touchscreen,
didn't
he's
see
like
those guys.
got the microfiber cloth out and a spray.
Wow.
He's like clean up the buttons and everything. And like the arcades over here, sometimes you drop a bit of money into the machine and nothing happens. And it just so happened that machine was broken, but no one told you, and you can never get your money back. There's just none of that here. Like they really service and look after their arcades, and they are awesome.
See, that
Never
worked
go.
in my favor once, Tom, because I was in the arcade of the local shopping center, and they had the Simpsons arcade game, and it was broken. So every time you died, and you were meant to put in more money to get a continue, you got free continues. So I stood there all day and played through it.
Oh, nice.
It was so
Yeah,
good.
that was the other thing. If you put in, so every game was basically 100 yen to play, so it was like 50p, 70 cents to play, and you would get like 5 continues. You could play a good 15, 20 minutes on an arcade with just 100 yen.
Hmm.
So it wasn't so money grabbing. It was definitely ingrained in their culture, and you could really feel that.
Are they still obsessed with playing Tekken over there?
They're obsessed with a game called quite a few games, like rhythm games mainly, but
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah,
the bongo drumming one where they got
the
sticks.
bongo drumming one's brilliant. Yeah,
it is good fun. That.
and Pokken, which is like Pokemon Tekken.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Pokken
yeah.
Tournament. That came out on
Yeah,
Wii U. That game's a blast.
Yeah, it's really good. And that's the thing. Pokken Tournament had an actual joypad connected to the machine, and it was like in really pristine condition. Like if that thing would just be ripped off if it was over here. There's
Oh, yeah.
just no way that
I'll be on
control
eBay
that
within
was
the hour.
there was like full on like Guitar Hero, but with like a drum kit with way more cymbals than.
Yeah, I saw some guy
like,
playing
just-
on that, and he was like a crazy pro at it, and he was like, it wasn't
so
missing
good.
anything, and he was so quick, and then he missed one thing and properly flipped out. I was like,
Yeah.
Good thing he's got
I,
5 continues.
I saw one guy playing one of those rhythm games where you have to tap buttons on the screen, and between songs, he would take out a cloth from his bag that was wet and just pad his forehead. And he's like, good job today.
Jeeves,
track.
wipe my forehead.
Yeah, just played a lot of Mario Kart as well. That was good.
The Mario Kart arcade racer is a ton of fun.
It's so
Did you
good.
not go to I forget what it's called. There's a Sega like kind of
Yeah.
theme park. Did you go there?
No, I didn't. I was really gutted. I missed that. I didn't know where it
Oh,
was.
you should have went there. It's really good.
Side note, speaking
Yeah.
of theme parks, did you guys see that Nintendo is collaborating with Disney for Nintendo World?
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw that. Where is that going to be?
So
Universal, isn't it?
I think there's going to be one at Disney World, Florida, and Disneyland in California.
Oh, okay, like near Universal Studios kind of thing. Is that
No,
is that near Disney
in
World?
those
Oh.
are two completely separate entities.
I'm
Oh,
sure
okay.
it said it was in Universal.
Is it? Why would Disney be collaborating with them?
I don't know.
Maybe you've read it wrong.
Oh, I did read it wrong. It is coming to Universal theme parks. I'm sorry. I thought it was Disney doing it. Forgive me
Yeah.
for my mistake.
Oh, it's okay.
I've brought a dishonor.
It is really easy to miss places there because everything's more built up than across. So Super Potato, for example, was on floors 2, 3, and 4 of one building, so you could easily miss it. It's not, you won't see it on the ground floor. So there's a lot of Google Mappage going on my phone, trying to find our way around.
How did you find the people there accepting of you as a non-Japanese speaker?
Yeah, that's a good question. When
You just bow to everyone and you're fine.
it was really weird. The first 2 days were really bizarre because it was the first time I've been somewhere and been like racial minority.
Oh yeah.
So it felt really odd. And then actually Tokyo was really easy. People are just really friendly and happy to help at all times. And as long as you kind of learn maybe some of the basics, if you at least try to say thanks, please, goodbye, and so on, they really respect and appreciate that. So I found it really straightforward, and they're just like universal language of pointing and shouting.
Yeah, talking really slow. Where
Yeah.
is this?
Exactly.
Well, the guy I went with, because when I went with the guy from work, and he was, because I have obviously this strong Geordie accent, and they had no hope of understanding me whatsoever.
Oh God, yeah.
And the guy
yeah.
from work was, when we were talking to Japanese people, because we actually went to a conference to do with work, and he was talking to them really, really slowly. And then after we'd been to the conference, we had about 4 days of just exploring Japan, and he was talking to me like that all the time. And I was like, "You do realize I speak your language, right?" He's just talking to me really slowly.
Dan,
Sit or stand.
But Dan, don't you remember when we went to Comic-Con all those years ago? Every time you said something, I had to say pardon.
Did you?
Because
I can't remember.
because I didn't understand what you were saying. Like, you were the first Geordie person I'd spoken to.
That's very ignorant, Tom.
I know. But I grew up in a really ignorant area. Not London.
I don't know how people
So-
understand me on this thing, so
We don't. We just
Probably
kinda
don't.
hope
Don't.
for the best.
so
Dan,
how
you
do
were like,
understand me there.
I'm sorry. I should enunciate a little bit more for you.
It was a good time though.
I understand you now, though. Just about.
Marvelous.
It was back in the Voldemort Tower days.
Yeah. I spent way too much money there as well. The first 3 days, I was very conservative with how we were spending. I was just kind of trying to string out for the 3 weeks, and then we just kind of thought, "Oh, fuck it, we're not gonna come back here for a long time. So let's just buy everything we like."
Oh God.
So yeah, spent. I don't even
Jeeves,
want to
fetch
say.
the chests of money.
Extend the main vault. Yeah, so kind of just thought fuck it. But I tried to buy a Switch out there. Went to 6 different cities. No cigar. Like
Ooh.
there are no Switches out there, which was a shame because it was about £100 cheaper to get one. So I bought one here instead.
Did you buy yourself an authentic Japanese toilet seat?
I would love to have gone home with one of their toilets. That was one of the highlights. Was getting
It
a good
really is.
old
I
jet
know
spray.
we talk about toilet stuff too much on this show, but you have to mention, you can't go to Japan and not mention how wonderful the toilets are, because
Yeah.
like for me the revelation was that some places have heated toilet seats, which is just a brand new experience, and it's marvelous.
So good. Did you try any of the... I really enjoyed the toilet's experience. You could choose between 5 different settings for the water pressure, and water pressure 2 was a pretty good amount for me, but I had to go with 5.
Ooh.
And
My
went
bum
away
will
with
still burn
It's
it.
a fire
Yeah,
hose.
I had like a numb anus / scrotum. Like it cleansed both areas. Really unnecessary to clean the scrotum, but fair enough.
Guys, I'm booking a trip tomorrow. I need this.
Just to use the toilet and then leave.
Yeah.
There was one day where we ate something just that didn't agree with us, and I came out of the bathroom and I said to Kat, I said, I've never been so grateful for the spray situation.
I've never been so clean.
Like, seriously, no amount of paper was going to fix that situation.
It was an oatmeal fire hose.
Oh, it was Taco Bell times 10.
Oh man. I wonder if I can import a Japanese toilet.
Yeah. Oh god.
Probably.
Google.
They had them. They had them for sale in these like massive electronic stores that were 7 floors full of just
I went
everything
there
you could
too.
think of. Yeah, amazing.
It's just like a dedicated section for toilet seats.
they really encourage foreigners to buy there because they just have these huge signs with tax-free signs. So if you just show your passport, you get 8% off at the till. You don't pay any sales tax. So yeah, if you bought a console out there that was region free, you get a really good deal. Which I didn't realize until a couple of days in. So, but
guys, I just really want a bidet. Like, I'm reading about Japanese toilets now, and I want one.
Me and Hazel were in town earlier, and I'm sure I heard like some really chavvy mum shout to her child. I'm sure the child's name was B-Day.
Whoa!
Hazel disagreed. She thinks it was something else, but I'm sure it was called B-Day.
God, that's that new trend of taking words and mispronouncing them as names. Good old B.
Dan, did you go to the top floor of any of those like anime stores? Like the manga shops?
I went into a basement of one and it turned into Hentai Central and I panicked and left.
Tentacles everywhere.
That happened to us on many occasions. Just, this is the porn section.
Tentacle starts climbing up your leg.
I was like picking up random cases for really odd looking PS4 games, and I was like, hey Kat, look, it's Boobs the game.
But yeah, I saw a game when I was there. It was just dedicated to kicking men in the nuts, and it was bizarre. And
and
I had like things on the back of people doing flips and then hitting people in the balls with like big wooden planks. I was like, what is this?
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of weird stuff over there, but it's all part of it. It's all part of the fun.
Yeah, well, from a gaming standpoint, I've been playing Persona 5 lately, and it is a very authentic recreation of Tokyo and the culture and stuff. It's a fantastic experience, actually. I was really impressed with it.
Guys.
Yeah, I would like to play that.
Guys.
Yes, Eric.
Yes.
I found a Japanese toilet on Amazon that I can buy.
Buy it.
Ooh. And it's only $500.
Pittance.
That's quite cheap for a toilet, isn't it?
Well, that's not the whole toilet. I was reading about, while you guys were having your other conversation, about the Japanese Wonder Toilet, the highest rated Toto washlet. I need this in and around all parts of me.
The elongated toilet bowl.
It's like a flight joystick on the right, something to hold on to for when times get really rough.
Yeah, that's really common. We had that in our Airbnb, one of those joysticks.
How dirty are those things?
Yeah, they get a bit yellow.
Ugh.
Oh, it has
They get a bit...
with electrical connection on left facing outward, a gentle, aerated, warm water rinse.
Does it have a USB charging port for my phone?
Heated seat with temperature control.
I need this. I feel like I have to buy it.
Eric, if you get this and I come to stay at your house and it has a heated seat, I'm going to whack the temperature up to maximum and wait until you sit on it. I can still hear burning.
There was a button on one of them that just said sound. and you
Ooh.
could press it, and it would play various jingles so that no one could hear you shitting.
It's not like dropping cantaloupes into gallons of water.
Yes.
When you flush, it's the Final Fantasy victory theme.
No, it just plays North Coral.
God, we spend a lot of time talking about toilets.
We do. We're sorry.
But that was important though. 'cause
It is. It ties in with the trip this time. It's not just out of the blue.
It has a remote too.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh
man.
yeah.
So I could have the remote outside and mess with people that are on it.
What does the remote do? Does it lift up the seat?
It's got a dryer. It's got front wash,
Oh,
rear wash.
yeah, I got
can
a
have
dry.
user preferences.
Yeah.
You
You
can
can
adjust
save
the
for later.
position. It will oscillate.
Mm-hmm.
God, $500. That's nothing.
The dryer was very useful.
So you
because they
never need
can't-
toilet paper ever again.
Yeah, so it's very eco-friendly.
I love this review. These should be installed in every bathroom across America. The only reason it gets 4 instead of 5 stars is design. It's simply ugly. I redid my whole bathroom in gorgeous marble and bought a beautiful toilet, and this just doesn't look good. But the function is so worth it.
Yeah, it looks like something you'd see in a nursing home.
It's so true.
Yeah, but the function
Right.
is so worth it, guys.
Because the only time you'd see something like that on a toilet over here is an alarm for if you've fallen over.
You hit your head on something.
Have I fallen over?
Oh, man. Yep, buying it. That will be in my house.
Seriously, buy it. Buy it.
Sweet. So Japan was a good run for you?
Yeah, I highly recommend. Highly recommend. If you're at all interested in anything to do with Japan. Which, if you're listening to this show, probably yes.
Probably. I want to
You
go.
can tell when a holiday's been interesting when an English person doesn't immediately mention the weather straight away when asked how it was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. A little bit humid, but reasonable.
Was it anything like
I
your
wasn't
first
asking,
trip
it's just-
to Arizona?
How are the queues, Tom? How are the queues? That's what we need.
The queue. I love the queuing situation. The queuing situation is better than here.
Was the tea and coffee making facilities in?
The tea and coffee making facilities left a lot to be desired. I'll be honest. Mostly green tea and something called brown tea, which is foul. It took 3 weeks before I had an English breakfast tea, and I was so happy. There is just something.
Jeeves, I could cry.
there are just some things you can't be without, and for me, it's tea.
Jeeves,
It
collect
just-
my tears.
I'm assuming that's the first thing you did when you got home was kick your door in and rush to the kettle.
Oh,
sweet,
yeah.
sweet tea, I love you.
Not before,
Actually,
not before ringing his mother. Mother, it was positively humid.
I got one on the flight. And I couldn't stop smiling after the first sip.
Shaking like an addict, clutching onto it.
Exactly.
Jeeves, I can't steady my hand. Direct the cup towards my face.
I couldn't even get a normal tea in the Starbucks over there. Had to just get cappuccinos. Not the same, guys.
They have
Not the
mental
same.
things in their McDonald's as well.
Oh yeah, like teriyaki burgers.
They had a burger
stuff.
with gravy on when I was there. I was like, what is this?
Oh, I thought
then they
you'd
had-
like that.
Well, I didn't try it because it looked so weird.
Oh,
it
man,
had
gravy.
It had burger, lettuce, and gravy. I was like, why?
I
Oh,
thought you put gravy on everything in the north.
You guys love gravy up there.
We do. And then they had chips, and it said with seasoning. So I got the seasoning, and honestly, it tasted like arse in a packet.
One packet of arse, please.
I don't know what this is, but Jesus Christ!
Ooh,
You want
yeah,
us
they
with your
got-
chips?
They called the chicken royale in Burger King a long chicken. Like that was their translation. One
Do you know
long
what?
chicken.
In Australia, Burger King is called Hungry Jack's. and I was so confused because I was like, I'm sure that's Burger King. It looks like Burger King, but it's not called Burger King.
Probably a trademarking issue. Just like in,
Yeah.
do you guys have
Jokes.
Hardee's or Carl's Jr.?
Oh, Eric, I went to a Carl's Jr. in Tokyo.
Oh, how immediately did you shit afterwards?
I didn't feel great. I gotta be honest. I got the chicken fillets or something like, and they
fillets.
tasted. Yeah, they didn't. There's something not right about them. So yeah,
There's
we kind
something
of
not
walked
right
around the
about
rest
any
of the day.
food that comes from there.
I took a photo of Kat standing outside at Descenti, but I didn't get around to it
Ooh.
because we found it, and I was sure it was an American brand because nothing says Junior at the end like American brand.
What? Small? What's that?
Everything's Junior.
The only reason
Yeah,
they put
that's-
small on there is because if they didn't, everything would be the smallest size. Then they just needed somewhere
Hey,
to
Bob.
put the extra large.
Hey Bob, how are you? Oh, not bad. Just taking Bobby Junior to the game.
He ain't so small though. Yeah,
That
Carl's
American
Jr.'s
Tom
not
sounded more intelligent.
He's been to
Yeah.
Japan. He's more cultured now.
good. Oh,
Alright.
he's
Hey,
worldly.
We will start to descend into the madness as this show progresses. So
I think we did that a long time ago.
it's up to you guys to start killing the brain cells I accumulated over there. I got about 4 or 5.
Give us 3
Challenge
shows. and
accepted.
It'll be done. We had Comic-Con
Yeah.
here in town last weekend.
Oh yeah, I saw like the costume thing had changed. You couldn't have certain props, is that right?
Correct. So on Thursday, the very first night that the show opened, this Comic-Con here has been growing exponentially for the past 6 years. The first year that I went to do, it was still large, but the venue hall was about a third of what it is now. And that Thursday, somebody came in wearing a full tactical body vest, shotguns, pistols, fully loaded, to go kill JDF, the guy that played the Green Power Ranger.
Oh yeah, I read about this.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah.
Because he
what
just
a-
for some reason really hated Jason David Frank.
Yes.
What a psycho.
And on his calendar at home, he specifically had on the 25th of May, kill JDF. And
Oh my
he
God.
he claimed
Who does that?
he claimed that he was the real world Punisher set out to enact justice against what he called Aphrodite police and kill JDF.
Fuck.
What was in his diary? Was it like wake up, breakfast, go to the gym, do a bit of work, 11 Z's, kill Jason David Frank?
2 o'clock, lunch. Continue as normal.
Yeah, so as a result, they banned all props, everything.
Ugh. Why?
And so that was for
Ugh.
the rest of Thursday and Friday. I ended up going on Saturday, and they were starting to loosen it up a little bit, but 0 props that looked like a weapon. No lightsabers, nothing.
Oh
So
my
Did
God,
ADF not
but-
have his dragon dagger?
I don't think so.
But that really makes Comic-Con, like, is obviously the costumes and the props really... People can spend a lot of time making their own props. That really
Well,
sucks.
And what the thing that was the most inconvenient, and they're actually issuing tons of refunds this year, is that before you'd have, so the Phoenix Convention Center is broken into 2 halls. You have the South Hall and the North Hall, and then the exhibit center is below both of them. And usually the main entrance, people just walk into the South Hall and they go down the escalator and down into the exhibit hall. If you have to get your badge, you go to the North Hall, stand in line, get your badge, and then go down the escalator on that side. So what they'd done as a result is they had cut the number of entrances in half. And at all of those entrances, they put security gates where people were having their bags checked. They were being wanded down and searched just to make sure they didn't have weapons on them. And as a result of that, the line to get in the main entrance on the South Hall was a 3.5-hour wait just to get in the door.
Oh my god.
So when we
That's
showed
bad.
up, we're like, this is crazy. It went down the block, around the corner, down that block, and then out into the street and queued back and forth the full length of the city block 5 times.
What?
So what we did instead, since we didn't have our passes, is we went over to the North Hall because you were supposed to go through the main entrance, go across to the North Hall, and get your registration and then go in. So our friend was there on Friday. And he's like, no, come here. We got this. So we went over to the North Hall, and there was a little bit of a line there. And as we were walking by, we just noticed that there was one security guard standing there, nobody coming through his line. And we made eye contact with him, and he waved us over. We got right in, went over, got our passes, and we're immediately downstairs in less than 5 minutes. So avoided a 3.5-hour line.
Well,
Peterson pro tip.
Yeah, you're not cheating. You're not trying hard enough. But people got really creative with their costumes as a result. We walked by a whole bunch of stormtroopers that didn't have their guns, but instead they'd gotten 2 or 3 foot long baguettes that they were walking around with. Other stormtroopers were wearing a sign that says, "I couldn't hit shit, so the Empire took my weapons." Just funny stuff. But
That's cool.
the stupid part of it is that at these shows, I don't ever go to listen to the panels or hear speakers. I go to spend money because there is a ton of cool shit.
Yeah, so true.
You can buy actual swords, and they were totally fine with that. So they were wanding people down. You couldn't bring in a plastic lightsaber. You couldn't bring in a fake water pistol, but you could go downstairs and buy an actual claymore, as long as when they sold it to you, they wrapped it in paper.
Oh my god, I was going to say, Eric, because you can buy swords in the Comic-Con here, but you can't walk out with them. They have to get delivered.
Oh no, you can walk around with them. So it was super dumb.
Oh my god. That's so stupid.
That is retarded.
I mean, it's annoying enough that one person has to spoil it for everybody else, but to then be inconsistent with banning everything and then selling that sort of stuff on the premises, that's just really dumb.
I think I understand that the safety is really important, and it's not something to be taken lightly, but it's a bit of a overreaction in a certain capacity, where if you can clearly tell that this is a fake gun or this is a plastic lightsaber, why are we banning that stuff?
Yeah, well, since they've ramped up security so much anyway.
Yeah, my friend's daughter wanted to go as Kiki from the Studio Ghibli film Kiki's Delivery Service. She had put this whole costume together, just looked perfect. Couldn't bring her basket in to carry her stuffed cat.
Oh my god, that's actually really sad.
Yeah, so there was a lot of really cool cosplay that you could tell, like, well, this is half done. But there's a guy dressed up as Iron Man with a big machine gun mounted on his back. But their rationale was he can be in there because it's not a handheld item.
Oh.
It's just, it wasn't consistent. I understand why they did it. I hope it doesn't ruin the show moving forward, because if I have to stand in a 4-hour line to get in every year from here on out, I'm just not going to go.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would be the same, Eric, because it does take away that fun aspect of it. I mean, what do you get if you take away all the cosplayers? You just get a bunch of people just wandering around.
Just milling around, spending money.
Yeah. It's just not the same.
Oh, and boy, did I spend some money. Whew.
What did you get?
I bought a giant stuffed Totoro for my daughter from a booth actually called Stuff from Akihabara. And he had all of this shit. And
nice.
He had a whole bunch of different sizes of Totoros. And I grabbed the small one. I'm like, my kid's small. She just needs a small one. Guy's like, yeah, that's $10. I'm like, well, how much is this big one? It was in a bag. He goes, that's $20. I'm like, how much is the one behind you, which was twice the size of the one in the bag? And he goes, $20. I'm like, I will take that very large one. So I got this one that's half the size of her for $20. Bought Christy.
Nice.
I've got a tiny one on my sofa.
Yeah, we've got one as well we got one from Japan.
Oh, she loved it. Got some stuff for Christy and just got just shit I probably don't need.
Yeah.
Standard
we went to
Peterson.
We went to the Pokemon Center in Japan and bought stuff we probably didn't need, but just had to buy stuff from the Pokemon Center to say that.
Oh, Tom, do they play the music in? Do they pipe it in? And you're wondering around?
Yep.
Do they really?
Oh, yeah, of course. It's amazing.
What, like the actual Pokemon Center theme?
No, not from the theme. Just different tracks from the various games. Some of them I didn't recognize because I'm not up with the 3DS games and stuff. But
okay,
yeah, and I bought a Sephiroth plushie as well in the Square Enix cafe. That was cool.
You'd probably drive the staff insane if it was the Pokemon Center music just over and over.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and you know those like the crane games where you can like catch
Yes,
toys
I
and
know
stuff.
them vividly. I played them a lot when I was there.
I never ever win anything, but then one day Kat wasn't feeling very well, so she went back to the hotel, and I got to walk around Tokyo on my own, which was kind of cool for the afternoon to just kind of wander and do whatever I wanted. So I decided to go to the arcade, and I managed to win a massive Eevee,
Nice.
which was amazing. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I've won.
Did you get it home?
We managed to win a Sonic plushie while I was there, and we won 2 anime figures which were in the box. Because the crane games are weird. They're not like the grab cranes where you do get them.
Yeah.
But the ones I played, like you have to kind of hook an
Knock
arm
it.
under something and try to knock it off a ledge.
Yeah,
Is that the
yeah.
ones you played, Tom? And-
I played those as well, but I didn't win on those. I won on the actual traditional big grabber. Yeah.
All right, okay. Because foolishly, our boss basically gave us spending money to go there, and we just went to the arcade.
Nice.
We just spent ages playing them, and we honed our craft on them. And we went to a bowling alley when I come a few months after I come back over here, and they had one of those machines, and it had a giant bar of dairy milk chocolate in it, and it was right near the edge. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get that, and I put £2 in, and I won it. And I was ecstatic because
No, oh yeah, you did say.
from Japan.
Amazing. Yeah.
The one thing I did get from our Comic-Con that I sent a picture out of is that stained glass cactar potted plant.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
I saw
yeah.
the picture of that.
They had
I like that.
This booth was super cool. They had a bunch of really, really neat stuff, but just tucked down on the bottom shelf, they had 3 of these little cactars and a couple of the Mario Fire Flowers. Like, I gotta get that cactar.
Nice. Did you get any games or anything?
Oh God, no. The people there, they know the value of what they have. There's always one booth that has some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
But it's always instantly double what it really should be. So, for example, last week I finally, after years of searching, found a copy of Landstalker. Landstalker. Fine. I've never seen a physical copy of it and bought it. I was talking to the guy at the booth about it. He's like, yeah, we'd sell it for about $50. I paid $25.
Wow.
So they know that they're in a convention setting where people are just going to part with money because like, oh, this is cool. I got this at this convention. They don't care.
Yeah, it's so true. People, it's the same at our Comic-Cons, and people, because you're really enjoying the time you're there and you're surrounded by all this cool stuff, you just are in the real mood to buy stuff, to spend money.
The best day to go to a con, though, is the last day. If you want to get custom stuff, like if you're just going to buy merchandise that actually has a monetary value to it, then that's probably not likely to change. But if you're there to buy books or handmade stuff, more likely than not, people are willing to barter and lower their prices on the last day.
Yeah.
I'll give you $1.
$1.
Yeah, we mostly buy books when we go because they're much cheaper than traditional stores.
Oof.
Books.
Then you got to carry them around.
What do these words mean?
Ooh.
I want moving pictures.
Please read this to me.
Is this upside down?
What's this drivel scribbled on this page? Get one of the helping hands in here. Anything else you want to share with us from Japan, Tom? Sounds like a right good time.
No, it was amazing. I recommend anyone goes, and actually shout out to the people on our Facebook group for recommending various places. I appreciate that. Yeah. So, thanks, guys.
Well, we're glad you're
lovely
back,
chaps.
Tom. We're
lovely
happy.
people.
We're happy that you returned to us.
Excellent.
I've been keeping the seat warm for you.
Excellent.
Anything else we want to chat about before we dive back into Final Fantasy VII? I'll take that as a no.
Oh, I thought you were still finishing your sentence.
Yeah, you completely cut out.
You said dive into. I was going to say something. Full disclosure, I am nowhere near where you guys probably are on this game because
we're gonna.
I started much
And
later.
removing Tom from the
Have
call
to
now.
ask you to leave.
I'm gonna have to ask you to step aside for this.
But you've
one.
played through it before, Tom, haven't you?
I have.
What the
So,
hell
you
was
know,
that accent?
It was Irish, wasn't it? It sounded
Yeah,
Irish.
It was an attempt, yes. I don't know why.
You've played it before, haven't you, wee lad?
To be sure.
I can't maintain it. I'm going to go Jamaican. It's not happening.
That's your fallback accent, isn't it?
Yes. Always.
Italian Jamaican
To answer
Mario.
your question, Eric, yes, we should progress into Final Fantasy VII.
So in proper form, we didn't stick to our plan and finish all of Disc 1 last show, but we got close.
Disc 1's big, if I remember rightly.
It's
Disc
like
one is the
25
biggest disc.
hours.
Do you reckon it was on 3 discs because of all? Is there lots of FMVs in the second and third discs?
Yes.
No,
Most of
is there?
disc 3 is the ending, isn't it? I think that took up most
Yeah.
of space.
Yeah, once you clip into Disc 3, you just immediately go to the end. There's really not a whole lot left to do. But guess what? We're going to do a whole show on it.
There's all the side quests.
Yeah,
You can do most of the side quests on Disc 2.
Yes, but for the purposes of this show, we are assuming that you've only done the storyline, and we will do it for Disc 3. So
Also, there's some handy things in the dungeon to use against weapons. So
Gotcha. Well, we should probably continue where we left off. I think we were just getting into the Ghost Attack Hotel at the Gold Saucer. That's not what it's called?
no.
Ghost Attack Hotel. Oh, that haunted hotel. That's weird.
Yeah.
That's a weird bit.
Yeah, where there's ghosts.
I like the bit where everybody has the conversation and they go, basically, I don't know what's going on. Cloud, tell us. Because everybody at this point just is complete mindfuck, basically.
I thought
Nobody
that was awesome too, because it's basically the developers of the game going, okay, we've probably lost everybody. Let's recap.
I know, right?
But this
Yeah,
is
we just got the keystone, hadn't we? Done the battle square. If I remember rightly, we just got to the gold saucer. Just got the keystone from doing the battle square.
yes, we had to go
Yes.
find Dio.
Dio and his lovely jockstrap.
That is how I dress on weekends.
That's my
Actually,
Tuesday
that-
attire.
That's how I'm dressed now because it's so fucking hot.
I have my AC in my house set to 79, which is like 15 degrees hotter than you currently are.
God damn you.
Yeah. I still have very vivid memories of picking Tom up from the airport in Vegas and having him walk out into the desert heat and just going, sweat starts pouring off his face. Like, what the fuck did I get into?
It's fucking outrageous. That's not fit for humans.
How dare they?
Jeez,
And
turn
then
the
I
sun
immediately proceeded to make him walk up and down the strip for like 3 miles.
down. Choose purchase the sun and have it removed.
Not only are you jet lagged, but now you're hot as
Give me
shit.
some laps.
Yeah. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Get down
Yeah.
and give me 20, son. Come on.
God.
Anyway, Ghost Attack Hotel. Tell us what's going on. This is where, in the middle of the night, you get woken up for your date, right?
Yes.
Who did everybody go on a date with?
I went with Aerith.
You mean Aerith?
Sexy.
Sexy!
No, that's who I went with.
Oh, did you actually name her Sexy in honor of me?
No, I
Damn it!
No.
Did you guys rename anyone?
No.
No, we
Just
talked
Aerith,
about this
Aerith.
on the last show. I was going to call Cloud Jock Buns, and I couldn't do it.
Apologise.
I had to restart.
Okay.
It would genuinely ruin the game.
No, Cloud is always good, Tom.
Who's this Cloud character?
Even now.
No way.
Yeah.
You've
Always.
always named him Tom.
Yeah, he's never been called Cloud. I have to think about what game you're talking about when you mentioned Cloud.
Mhm. So if we just say, oh, you remember that game with Tom, like just brings up all of these memories for you? Like, that's every game.
Ah.
Could be.
Yeah, absolutely. Put yourself in the narrative.
I mean, I guess that's the player experience.
Except if it's Final Fantasy X, because it's pointless.
Yeah. I went with Eris as well.
Aerith.
Sorry, what?
Th-
Earth.
Not
Eris.
Aerith.
I recently found out her surname is Gainsborough, which is also
Yeah.
the name of the town I grew up in.
Woohoo!
Oh, isn't that nice?
Interesting fact of the day.
Are you sure it's not a TH there instead of an S?
Gainsborough.
Trivia.
It's where the lisp originated. Eris
Still
Gainsborough. So, Jesus. Sorry. I'm going to start apologizing. This is where Eris alludes... Shut up! This is where Aerith alludes to... Damn it! She draws the correlation between Cloud and Zack, where she says, it bothers me how two people look so much alike. You walk like him, you talk like him, you gesture like him. That's kind of the first mention of Zack in this game, isn't it?
Yes and no.
Like the allusion to Zack. Not illusion, but allusion.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, he is. When you go to what's the name of the Gongaga? If I think I said on the last show, if you go there
Yeah.
with Aerith and go into Zack's parents' house,
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
that? She mentions that it's Zack then.
But in terms of like him being tied to any of the main characters, aside from like, oh, Cloud, do you know him?
Yeah.
Because up to this point, we didn't know that Eris knew him.
but she did.
Mm. I'm going to tell you
It's
guys right now.
It's never really fully explained in the game, that bit.
No.
It's more on Crisis Core.
Yeah, because
Oh,
weren't
what a
they
game.
dating?
Sort of.
Hmm.
Yeah, because she mentions when they're in the playground in the slums that she was dating a guy in Soldier, and that obviously was all about Zack then.
Yeah.
Because she asks Cloud what rank he was
Oh, yeah.
in Soldier. Soldier!
Actually, yeah, I named Cloud X Soldier this time around.
All
Was it all
caps?
capitalized?
Yeah.
Heck Soldier!
I took notes this time around, you guys.
What a goon.
I know. Actually, I didn't like handwrite them like I normally do. I just had my phone next to me and took notes on that.
Siri, take my notes.
Record this game.
Siri, repeat after me.
Create a shopping list with my notes. So in the gondola, Ares was talking about wanting to meet Cloud because she feels like she didn't actually know Cloud as a person. But Cloud's a bit
I
thick.
thought she was talking about sexy time.
I think she was too, and Cloud's a bit thick, so he didn't quite catch on to it.
What do you mean, Aerith?
You know who I
You want me to put it where?
Could you imagine that conversation? What do you mean, Earth?
And meanwhile, in another gondola, Barret and Kite Sith are on another date and just looking through the windows, and they're just bumping uglies across the.
Damn.
What the hell is Aerith doing?
Anyway, the date didn't really. So hold on, you can go on the date with Barret, right?
With Barret,
Yes.
with Yuffie, with Tifa.
Ooh.
So yeah, I got Tifa, so I can't remember any of the Aerith-th-th-th conversations.
I think one of the listeners posted a picture of going on their date with Barret.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
But we explained that last time. You need like really complicated ways to get Barret. It is actually a trophy on the PS4 version as well.
Ooh.
To go with Barret.
Oh, right. Oh, that's cool.
So
Can you
kind
take...
of
Called
What?
Best Bromance.
You can't take Ket-Sith, can you?
No.
No.
no, I don't think there's any sort of affection things that you can do with him. But
Play
this is
with
where
his zipper
Kate
on his
Sith
back.
actually reveals kind of to the group that he's a spy,
Yes.
and he blackmails the group.
Bastard.
You chase him through Gold Source, like coming back from the date. He's there just wandering around, and then he pulls the keystone out of the pockets that he apparently has.
I hate him.
It's a strong feeling. I hate him.
He is one of the shittest characters in any Final Fantasy game. I hate having to use him.
I don't think I've ever used him in a battle.
You
have
have
to.
to.
In what? When?
When you're fighting... shit, I can't remember now.
Oh, there is a
You're
part
in
where
the-
you get separated and you have just him. That's right.
Yeah.
But like consciously ever chosen to use him? No.
No.
The only time I used him by choice is when you get to the North Cave. Later on there's a bit where you split the parties up, and you can, if you have Vincent and Kate Sith in your party and send people certain ways, you can get all of the items in the North Cave twice. So with having in your party, then I'll explain that when we get there. But that's the only time I used him because it's awful.
It's funny. I remember when you split your party up just before you leave Midgar. I chose Barret and Red 13, and Tifa's like, okay, so all the men and all the women.
Yeah, we talked about that when they say we should split up because too many people wandering down the field is more dangerous. We're like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel sorry. I feel sorry for the guys who get left behind. Like, what do? They must be doing something because they still get levels.
Oh,
And they
yeah.
just magically appear everywhere.
Yes. There's only certain sections, like later on the attack on Midgar, when they're just milling around, and you can actually see them in different sections.
Yeah.
So after this, we got the keystone back. Have to go to the Temple of the Ancients, which is a giant.
No, we don't get it back because if you remember, Seng turns up at the Gold Saucer and Kate Sith throws the keystone to him, and that's where you find out that Kate Sith has Marlene.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
so like it basically is a bargaining chip because they're going to tell Kate they were going to kick Kate Sith out of the group, but he uses the fact that he's got Marlene as like a bargaining chip, and the Turks actually get to the Temple of the Ancients before everyone else, and they accept that. They're like, oh, they're going to be there before us. We'll just have to accept that.
But when you get to the Temple of the Ancients, Seng is there, and it looks like he's been killed or mortally wounded.
Yeah, he does die
Yeah.
because you never see him again.
Who
And
was
then
saying?
he kind of reveals that Sephiroth isn't actually looking for the Promised Land. And he starts going on and like dropping these little hints saying that letting Aerith go was the beginning of his bad luck and the president was wrong. And in fact, Sephiroth isn't looking for the Promised Land. He wants to become one with the planet. That sounds like the Demon Souls theme.
No, I just remember it so succinctly, but it's really eerie. His music is really terrifying.
Oh,
Like when
yeah.
Sephiroth appears, it's like, ha, ha, ha. Like when he's in the mansion reading, he's like, I'm off to find my mother. Ha, 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 ha. And he's just...
Hi, Fern! Hi, Fern!
Damn it, Mom,
Have a
I'm
good day
brooding,
at
trying to kill the
school.
planet.
Did you eat your pet lunch?
He's one of the coolest villains of all time, that guy. I love him.
He's just a
Good old
complete
Sephi.
badass.
Yeah.
The Temple of the
Sorry,
Ancients is annoying.
I
Great
kinda
music,
like
though.
it.
Yeah, but with the clock thing, it just...
What's with the weird guy you have to follow around? Who the hell is that?
Yeah.
They're like guardians of the temple, aren't they? But the thing I find strange is they can't speak or anything like that. But one of them sells you like just everyday items like potions and antidotes and things like money.
Just been down to the local car boot sale and bought a load of potions. What he did, Tom, is he pointed and shouted. That's what he did. See, it all comes full circle this show, guys.
Love it. Love it.
Hypers. Do you have hypers?
Cure my sadness.
That's what I wanted to ask you guys, actually. Is there any bad effect to having fury on your characters?
Is there any bad effect to having sadness?
Yeah, you don't
sadness stops your limit break gauge from filling up as fast.
Mm.
Oh,
whereas fury accelerates it.
Your attack power is lowered, I believe.
Is it?
Yeah, not by much.
Which doesn't make sense, because if you go berserk, it increases your attack power.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
But fury also affects your magical attacks as well. As well as physical. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I did wonder.
Yeah, it kind of drops it by a third, I think.
That's why we have you back, Tom. With those small nuggets.
A little negative trivia for you. I'll just go back to my corner.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to what you said about the clock, on this occasion, like, because obviously I wanted to get through the game, I just quickly referenced a guide to see which ones have the items and which ones have the enemies, because obviously there's a chest in each one, isn't there? And some have enemies, some have items. Because you get Aerith-th-th-th's ultimate weapon there.
I just
in time for her to die. Spoilers.
What?
Also, do you guys know that if you let the second hand hit you, you can fall down and there's a weapon cloud down there?
Yes.
Yeah, the nail bat, which is pretty rubbish, but
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. To be honest, I did the ones on the right hand side of the clock face, then couldn't be asked doing the rest, so went to 6 and just cracked on. It's like, surely there's nothing much.
The chasing the guy through the doors outside on the cliff edge.
Yeah, that was annoying.
Yeah.
I couldn't be bothered working out the route, so I just kept randomly running into doors until it finally worked.
Well, was there an actual route? Like every door would take you to a certain location?
Yes.
yeah, they're all specifically linked.
And he always goes on a specific route, I think, so you have to work it out and then...
Because after I found him and he went back up to the top, it took me about 5 minutes to get back up to the top. I just bouncing in and outdoors. Like, oh, shit. But hey, another mini game of hide and seek. But then you go actually into the main... the main chamber where the black materia is kept. And because you start seeing flashbacks of Sephiroth coming in there, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
In fact, that's where you see him you see Seng get struck by Sephiroth.
Yes. And you make it in there and learn that the black materia itself, the temple itself, is actually the black materia. And as you solve the puzzles of the temple gets smaller.
Well, it's in there you actually learn that he's going to use the materia, isn't it? Because it's the actual things on the wall.
Meteor is on the wall.
Yeah, and it's there that you actually realize that that's what he wants to do.
Because the planet is hurt, so it starts to gather energy, and that's technically then the promised land. Because if the planet is hurt to the point where it's going to threaten the very life of the planet, how much energy is actually going to be gathered? So therefore, that's why he wants to injure the planet to that level so he can get the maximum amount of energy from the planet. And he wants to be at the center of that and become a new life form and reborn as a god. Yeah,
he wants to use the black materia to summon Meteor to basically destroy it, doesn't he? To then harness the energy.
Yes, and be god.
Meteor.
But Meteor... oh dear, he's one of it. Meteor apparently is this thing that just floats around space finding small drifting planets and collides with them. So by him summoning, he's like just setting up a flare into space like, hey, we're small, we're drifting, destroy us.
No, I think it grabs small drifting planets, which it brings towards the place where I think you've interpreted it wrong. The small drifting planet is Meteor itself.
No, Meteor
Yes.
finds small drifting planets and collides with them.
Yes, so the small drifting planet is the meteor in space, which is coming towards Gaia.
Oh shit!
What?
How is this hard to understand? Meteor, when used, goes up into space, finds a small drifting planet, which is then the meteor, which comes towards where the black materia is.
What?
Oh, shut up. Such a moron.
Huh? But then you get to
Anyway,
fight a
long
dragon.
story short, it will destroy it.
Yeah.
But doesn't Cloud has a bit of a breakdown here as well, doesn't he?
He becomes
before the
possessed
dragon.
again.
Yeah, and starts like looking at the murals of Meteor, and he kind of just starts laughing and repeating black materia, doesn't he?
And then he turns into a ghost. He
Ooh,
has
yeah.
he has bits of himself which come out and start flashing around, and then moving to different points. So
Get your mind out of the gutter, Tom.
I'm sorry, guys. Sorry. Please continue.
yes, Tom Cloud's ghost comes out and lobs his cock out and shows it to everyone.
But this is where you get-
Sorry.
Bahamut?
Yes.
Bahamut. Bahamut.
Behemoth.
You fight a crazy dragon, you get Bahamut, and that's when you learn that the temple is the materia itself. And somehow, Kate Sith magically heard the entire story, even though he's not in your party.
He's listening on the PHS.
Cloud just never hung up?
No.
Retain complete radio contacts.
What do you suppose PHS stands for? Phone system?
That's a good question.
Fat, humongous shit.
What does that have to do with... You spelled fat wrong.
I know, I'm doing it with a P to be down with the kids.
Kids don't say that.
Personal handheld system.
Ooh.
Yeah. Or handy phone system.
Phonographic homing satellite.
It's what they call it in Japan. Personal handy phone system.
Huh.
Interesting.
Interesting. Okay. But anyway, Kate Sith offers his body to solve the puzzles, shrink the temple down into the black materia. You all escape. Huge hole in the ground. Black materia's at the bottom. Cloud jumps down, gets it. Sephiroth shows up. Cloud goes crazy again.
Yeah.
And gives the black materia to Sephiroth.
And then starts beating up Aerith.
Yes, it looks like he's punching her in the vagina.
Oh yeah. Slapping.
A little swift punch to the baby maker.
The ovarian delight.
No wonder she leaves.
I'm a bit
My favorite-
foggy. Go ahead.
Yeah, basically, Cloud hands over the black materia to Sephiroth willingly, but you don't know why at this point. And then, just out of the blue, after Kite Sith 1 has just had a heartfelt goodbye and been crushed to death in the Temple of the Ages, which is transformed into black materia, a second one just shows up and goes, "Oh, hello everyone, I'm Kite Sith number 2, how nice to meet you."
Kaitsith, tell Kaitsith to bring me to bring me my ultimate weapon.
What I don't get, right, because obviously Kate Sith's body is being controlled by the Shinra spy, and
By Reeve in a cupboard. We just
by Reeve, yeah.
Spoilers.
But we mentioned it last time. But then
Post
when
spoilers.
Kate Sith dies in battle and you all die, it's game over. But he obviously has more than one of these cat robots.
Nobody said it was a perfect system, Mike.
But well, that's all right. I thought it was our job to pick it apart.
Just like when people die in the Final Fantasy world, why don't they just throw Phoenix down on him?
Yeah, this is true. I've opened a can of worms here, haven't I?
Yeah.
Is that not technically KO and not death, though?
Oh, that meteor knocked me out.
Vincent, use the Phoenix materia, please.
Thought I had a bang up. Thought I had a bump on my head coming along.
Anyway, so after Cloud has finished punching Aerith straight in the baby maker, Aerith then decides to leave the group, and Cloud, because he's fainted, basically has a weird kind of internal dream where he sees Aerith running towards a forest, and so then you have to kind of figure out where to go from here. It doesn't really tell you.
He wakes up from that, and he kind of mentions that he's afraid to find out the truth about himself.
Yes.
Because he's clueless as to why Sephiroth can control him.
Yes.
Why did I punch Aerith in the vagina?
So many things I want to say, but I'm not going to.
Good. So next we are off to Boone Village.
Oh yeah!
Oh shit!
I'm gonna take Aerith to Bone Village.
Already did that on the gondola last night, guys.
Up on my tiny Bronco.
Ooh, give it right on my tiny Bronco in Bone Village.
I rode her like a chocobo.
Maybe if we're lucky, I'll let you see my high wind.
We're ruining this game for a lot of people right now.
Wait,
Someone
Cloud,
somewhere.
last week Tifa showed me her final heaven.
Oh, God.
Put it right in the Lockhart.
I'm gonna give you an Omni Slash. Anyway, you get to Bone Village. Make your
The
way
village of Bone.
Make your way to the ancient forest.
No, I think we need to mention the crap digging game before this.
Fucking Luna Harp. I like
Is
the
it
way
as good
the
as-
guy is there. It's just like, oh, you're gonna need the Luna Harp to go through that forest.
We don't know where the fuck it is, but you need it.
I like the idea that I like that multiple people have used the lunar harp, so there must be multiple lunar harps under the ground, which some numpty at some point is just buried underground to stop people from,
Or
in
how
case
they're-
an army comes along and wants to travel through the ancient forest.
I like how these are professional paleontologists looking for this lunar harp. Cloud comes in and buys 2 sticks of dynamite, puts them on the ground, and finds it 30 seconds later.
Oh, here it is.
Well, in theory, but it took me about 8 goes to find the damn thing.
I think it's a money-making scam because you have to give them money to
Yes,
to
you do.
dig there.
So maybe you don't need
They're
the
just
harp.
reburying it. No, you do.
Well,
if you don't
maybe
get it,
they
then you
just
just
say
run
that you do.
endlessly.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, that's right.
You can also look for treasure as well if you want.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
But the key
Well, the
to finding the harp is you put the dynamite down, and then it sends shockwaves through the ground, and then they point in a certain direction, and where those 2 lines cross, or however many lines you have, that's where the harp is.
Yes.
Yes,
The
but
interesting thing
I
is-
didn't put enough people down because I didn't have enough gil. I couldn't figure out where it was.
The interesting thing about the Bone Village is in Disc 3, anything that was like a one-time item that you could easily miss, you can actually dig up there. It can take a while, but
I knew there was
it's
something
kinda
like that.
reset.
yeah, I think it's the only Final Fantasy. Well, I might be wrong on this because I'm not an expert on Final Fantasy like as much as you guys. But I think it's probably one of the few games that's done it where gives you the opportunity to actually find things that were a one-time shot.
Like materia, like Ramu?
Yes, I
Really?
believe so.
Oh,
I
Oh, so
could be
you
wrong.
didn't have to.
I could
You
be
didn't
wrong.
have to go back, Eric.
I don't know. Apparently, it's really hard to get these items. It takes a while. So
You can also get the key to go back into Midgar.
yes,
oh yeah.
just that's how you get Tifa's ultimate weapon.
Good to know. Anyway, you get down into where Aerith-th-th-th, and she is praying.
She is. You're right.
And
City
no,
of the Ancients.
What's she praying for?
well, you learn later that she is praying for,
Holy.
yes, because she has the materia.
White materia.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Which she does mention earlier in the game that she has a materia that she got from her mother, but it's useless.
Yeah.
And as you
How
approach
wrong
her,
she was.
as you approach her, from the heavens descends Sephiroth and sticks a sword in her.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, heartbreaking. This scene was the first time you ever saw it.
Oh, it was.
Heartbreaking.
This was
Yeah.
gut-wrenching because she was one of my favorite characters. I'd spent a ton of time leveling her up.
I never
Yeah, she's
used her.
really
I
good.
always used to use Tifa.
I loved Aerith at the beginning.
I
when
could
first
never
played
get
this.
her physical attack to be very effective. I could never.
No, she was
Never
always my
mind.
healer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I was doing it wrong.
This bit though, obviously, there's that really sad, gentle music there, and you fight Genova again, and instead of the normal boss theme or the Genova boss theme, it's still just that calm,
Oh,
gentle
yeah.
music.
Yeah, it's Ares' theme.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I
Yes.
really struggled with that Genova. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
I must have been underleveled because she was killing me, and then I equipped a ring which absorbed her attacks, and then that just made it easy. But
I don't know what it is, but I haven't struggled with one boss fight yet this game.
I was underleveled for quite a while. I think I must have blitzed through it quicker than I should have.
It might have
So-
been that I spent 4.5 hours grinding to beat the Zalem.
Yeah,
That'll
that
do
would
it.
do it.
Yeah.
I've been grinding. Oh, I went to the Gelnika at the bottom of the ocean and did a bit of grinding there, and I'm kind of around the right level now.
I was
So-
going to, but then I'm saving it for the Northern Crater.
You should have went there because you get the 2 times cut
Oh, no,
material,
no,
which is the
I
best
did
thing
get
of it.
that.
Oh.
I didn't sit
Oh.
there and grind, though.
Oh, okay.
Isn't there a 4 times cut materia as well?
Yeah,
Or is that
it-
just the evolution?
slash all.
It
Ah.
evolves from that.
Ah.
But the scene where Aerith gets stabbed, I think it's particularly good how the materia falls out of her hair, and then as soon as it hits the ground, it starts playing a theme, and it's just so impactful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mentioned this on the last episode. There are so many inconsistencies in this scene with how the actual cutscene is presented. For example, the floor around where Aerith is crouching at one point has tiles on. Later on, it doesn't. Then it does again. Sephiroth, when he comes down, is not wearing any gloves, but when he stabs Aerith, he's wearing gloves.
Maybe after he killed her, he just put them on, like dusted his hand and go, "Right, my job's done."
Maybe. I don't know. It's really odd.
Few goofs in there.
It's
I
like
can't expect it to be perfect, Dan.
It's just like, but you would think they would put it all together as one cohesive whole, but it must have been done by different people or something. It's weird. It's really strange.
The thing we haven't mentioned actually before Sephiroth comes down and kills Aerith, there's that
It just doesn't get old.
Cloud. Cloud goes up to her and nearly tries to kill her himself.
What?
And you actually do it as well. You have to press the button. So Cloud goes
yeah.
up to her, and then you have to press the button. You press circle once. He gets his sword out. Press it again. He brings it above his head, and then you press circle again, and he's about to strike her down, and the other characters stop him.
I don't
Yeah,
recall
he's
that.
kind of. Yeah, he's in a bit of a trance, isn't he?
Yes,
remember.
yeah. So he actually nearly kills her.
Oh, that's right, because Sephiroth is close, and therefore is going to make him do it.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So then, obviously, Sephiroth then comes down and kills her, and the materia drops in. And the interesting thing you find out later, the materia, obviously, she described it as white earlier, but it's actually glowing like a pale green.
Well, once
Before
you
it
start
drops
praying
into
to
the water.
Holy and it responds, then
Yeah.
it starts to turn pale green, right?
Yes.
Yes. Do you know what my favorite bit of this entire section is? When Cloud wanders out and puts her in the water. Obviously, it's a lovely, heartfelt scene. But before it transitions into the FMV, Cloud is walking in like a ridiculously shallow pool of water, and then he puts her in this really deep water, and she sinks to the bottom. but it's about 2 feet deep. It's just crazy.
I think this is the scene that I'm the most looking forward to in the remake. I think they're really going to capitalize on this and make it. I mean,
Oh,
in this
many tears will be shed.
In this capacity, it was impactful at its time, but I think people are ready to see it done better.
If it's a full orchestral score as well.
Oh man, they need to do all Distant Worlds for this soundtrack.
It was actually briefly shown in Advent Children.
I need to watch that again.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've watched it too.
Yeah, it's just kind of a flashback scene and shows Cloud putting her in the water from like a distance. You don't really see it.
The hell kind of burial is that?
Sea burial.
I mean, wouldn't she float for a while?
Just starts pushing it down with his foot. Get down!
Get me that brick over there. I'm going to tie it to her ankles.
They come back a couple hours later and a bulbous corpse is bobbed to the surface.
Raven's picking at it.
God.
Let's not ruin this scene anymore.
We are ripping apart this scene right now.
We are.
Yeah.
Putting the factory seal to
It has-
on it.
It has aged, that's for sure, but it is a lovely scene.
This is the end of disc 2.
Oh.
Disc 1.
Disc 1, yeah. Sorry. Thank you for keeping me right, Mike.
That's
You're the
all right.
best.
That's what I'm here for.
That's where we were supposed to get up to last show, but that's 25 hours. At least that's how long it took me to clip out disc 1.
I
It
can't
probably
remember.
took
I
me
didn't
about the same.
And I don't remember.
Something more than none. So after this, you have to make your way past the North Snowfields.
Yeah. Well, Cloud, they wake up in the city. Well, they're in the city of the Ancients, and that's where Cloud says, I don't know why. I don't know how Sephiroth's controlling me. I don't know why Aerith came here. But I need to find both of these things out. And he says he realizes he's not following Sephiroth. Actually, he's being drawn to him.
Quiet.
Oh, yeah.
So we are off across the snowfields.
To the North Crater, because they discover that something crashed into the planet and left a scar, and that is where the planet itself is currently healing, so therefore there will be the most energy there. And they
We have to
assume
stop
that.
off at the Icicle Inn first.
I like that town.
Me too. It's like Christmas.
Yeah, which is it makes me excited to play I Am Setsuna. I like little snowy villages. Like Tom, when we played Popo Croix.
Yeah.
One snowy village was just always my favorite. They're just so
There's something magical about a
Yeah.
snowy village.
they're so cozy.
That's exactly it. It's very magical. You'll love I Am Setsuna then. It's very snowy.
Have you played all of it yet?
I'd say I've played about 5-6 hours.
One of my
Standard
friends was
Tom
saying
on an
that it's
RPG then.
very
Yeah.
sad.
I had to take a break from it, but I'll get back to it at some point. It is sad. It is a sad game.
Mm.
Too
But
much
this is where
citrus.
you get to do the ridiculous rock climbing.
Well, did you guys watch the videos at the Icicle Inn? The Professor Gast videos?
Yes, I was going to reference these.
No,
I
I
forgot
did
about
not.
it. There's you actually. Well, Mike, do you want to take this one? Go
I
ahead.
can if you want. Yeah.
Yes, you go for it.
So you actually find there's this house, and you go in there, and there's a console in the corner, and there's several like videotapes, and essentially it's the videotapes are of Professor Gast and Ifalna, and Ifalna is Aerith-th-th-th's mother, and you also then find out, and also during the course of the video, you realize that Professor Gast is actually her father as well. So the first video, he's talking to Ifalna about the history of the ancients, which she refers to as the Cetra, and the talk about the calamity. Well, and this bit they call it the crisis from the sky rather than the calamity from the sky.
I think that's just
for
another
some reason.
inconsistency.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But basically, she discusses how there was the crisis from the sky hit the planet, wounded the planet, and the Cetra went to go and basically help the planet heal.
And that's the North Crater.
Yes, and that is where basically they discovered Genova, but it appeared it appeared to them at first as their loved ones who had died, so like their mothers and their brothers and things like that died, and then it gave them basically infected the Cetra with a virus, and this is what killed them off.
And also turned them into monsters, which makes me think
Yes.
that's why there's monsters on the planet.
Yeah.
Isn't
and
Gast
then-
also the one who was responsible for creating Sephiroth with Hojo?
Yes. Well, there's the next videotapes. The next one, basically, he's discussing with Ifauna about Weapon. So this is one of the first instances you hear about Weapon, and they're discussing the fact that the Earth's response to Jenova hitting the planet was also to create something to protect the planet, but it was never used and is still basically sleeping. And then the last video is Ifauna basically wanting to film Aerith-th-th-th as a child. So like there's 10 days old and 20 days old. And the last video, Hojo and some Shinra soldiers burst through the door, basically wanting to take Ifauna and Aerith-th-th-th. They kill Professor Gast, and also they shoot out the security camera, but the audio's still on, and you hear basically Hojo look on the consoles and look at the all the stuff about Jenova and Weapon and everything like that as well.
I need to go back and watch those. That seems like something really important that they should have just incorporated into the main story.
Yeah, I'm so glad I found
Yeah.
it, because I can't remember finding it before. And because I was exploring all the town, and then I found it, I was like, this is really important stuff.
Yep.
So
And then you get
My
the
other-
snowboard.
Woo! Best part of the
my
game
other
right
highlight
there.
from Icicle Inn, though, is when you steal the guy's map, and then you go talk to him afterwards, and he says, "You already took it," because he offers you it, and then he goes, "You already have it." It's like, yes, I do. Yes, but you do get to go snowboarding, which is so fun.
Oh man, I love that.
Even now, it's still pretty fun.
It doesn't age well, but it's
No. I
still
still like
fun.
it.
Yeah. I just enjoyed it because that was the height of my snowboarding craze, and Cool Borders was out at the time. I'm like, yes, snowboarding in my also favorite game.
So true.
Yeah.
And you can go.
Go ahead.
And then you get lost in the snowfields.
Oh, I was just gonna say you can go back to the
That
gold
map was
saucer. Can't...
impossible to follow.
Which map?
The map that you have to utilize to guide you through the snowfields. I kept ending up back at Icicle Inn, or in the snowboarding area to walk back to Icicle Inn.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Oh, I didn't struggle. I guess I must have remembered because I got there pretty much straight away.
No, it
Did
took
you-
me a while.
Did you guys bother getting the Alexander materia?
I didn't even know that was there.
Nope.
Yeah, so basically
Yeah.
there's a cave with this it looks like just a woman in like an blue Eskimo outfit there, but it turns out to be a monster. But if you find her, she does nothing. But there's another section that you go to, and there's some hot springs. If you touch the springs, then go back to the cave, you touch her with your hand that's touch the hot spring. And then basically she gets angry, and you fight her, kill her, and then the Alexander materia is there.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Did anybody manage to dodge Elena's punch?
Yes.
No.
Neither did I.
I didn't know how to do it.
She gives you straight fair warning that she's going to punch you, and just Cloud takes one right in the jaw.
No, if she misses, she ends up rolling down the mountain.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it in the past.
Yeah, I didn't.
I think you just press left. I think you evade left, and I think it does it, if I remember rightly.
I just hammered the buttons and nothing happened. So, yeah. I really enjoyed the snowboarding though, and I have fond memories of going to the Gold Saucer and unlocking the advanced paths and things like that, trying to get better at it.
I was gonna say because you can't play that machine until later on, right?
I don't
Yeah,
think they
it's
want
it's
to.
a true of all of the mini games. You can't play them until you've done it during the storyline.
I don't think they
Yeah.
want you to be. I don't think they want to ruin it for you.
Yeah.
So you end
So
up
I'm already-
in the crater.
With you
Rufus.
then do the mountain bit that you were about to mention a moment ago.
Oh god, where you got to climb up, shiver to warm yourself up, and then continually keep going up.
And they're all still dressed the same, including
Yeah.
Tifa in her miniskirt.
Yeah, you don't need mountain climbing gear. You just got to rub yourself.
That's literally what it looks like Cloud's doing. He just looks like he's just going crazy, which warms him up about 4 degrees, apparently, even in sub-zero conditions. If only the Everest climbers knew this technique.
There wouldn't be so many dead people.
Yep.
That moment, though, where you get over the top of the mountain and you actually see the crater, that bit, like, it feels quite epic. When you finally see, like, the sort of epicenter where the energy is gathering.
Yeah.
Just as you get over the
before we get to that bit,
precipice,
though,
the right word?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so. Before we get to that bit, did anybody really get annoyed with the stupid icicles that you have to fight?
Yes.
Because they have that scene where it takes forever for them to crack at the end of every one. It's so annoying.
But I had to
just
fight
cast
all of
Beta
them because
each
there's a
time.
treasure chest. Like, I need what's in there.
Yes, which is the last elixir.
It's no, it's not.
Yeah,
Don't be so silly.
it's called Last Elixir.
No, it is, but it's,
But it turns out this is just a normal elixir, but somehow ended up being called that.
Just
It's
a
bizarre.
translation.
weird.
Kind of like Barrett's limit break called
Tom, you're Japanese.
Max.
Can you explain it to us?
What's that?
I said, Tom, you're Japanese. Can you explain it to us?
Yeah.
Well, I think you'll find.
Did you
But I
guys
have
notice
no
that
answer.
one of Barrett's limit breaks is misspelled?
Which one?
The
I don't use
Unger
Barrett,
Max.
so-
It's a mistranslation of Anger Max.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. Little tidbit there for you.
I thought Big Shot was mistranslated. It should have been Massive Shot.
Massive shit. That's what it should have been.
Yeah.
Speaking of Barrett's limit breaks, what satellite is he using?
Meteor.
Satellite beam. Satellite beam. He just like he targets the enemy, and then this giant laser comes from space. How the fuck did he get that satellite up there? He lives in the slums, for God's sake.
Who knows?
Maybe they'll explain that in the remake.
Yeah, right.
There'll be like a 2-hour scene of how Barrett like invented the satellite and sent it up into space.
Yeah,
Around the
because
campfire.
Sid was going to be the first person to go into space. That was their first rocket to go up into space. So how the hell is this satellite up there?
Exactly.
God damn.
They could have launched satellites, but not manned rockets.
No, this was the first rocket into space. It was their space program. Anyway,
Sorry.
you get down into the crater, and there's a bunch of black-caped people there for the reunion.
Yes.
And Sephiroth is killing them.
Bastard.
And also Shinra are there in the high wind watching everything go.
Yeah, Rufus and Shinra, and they claim, hey, we found the promised land. Sephiroth, as he's killing these people, proclaims that this is the end of his current body's usefulness and disappears.
And then shows up again.
Does
Because
he?
he appears and like attacks everyone. And then everything goes weird, and whoever you've given the black materia to keep safe, basically, so it doesn't go for Sephiroth, is then tricked into coming to where Sephiroth is.
Oh, that's right, because they're saying our purpose is to deliver the black materia to our master.
Yes. They're not doing very well, though, because they don't have it.
Who did you guys give the black materia to?
Red 13, he was
We're at
closest.
13.
I gave it to Barrett. I actually had a conversation with myself about who would be the most trustworthy in that situation.
Which is why I
Yuffie was-
thought Red 13.
Yuffie was immediately out. It's like, she's just going to take this shit and run away.
That's always Red 13. 'cause
I
he's
couldn't give it to
closest.
Aerith
It's
because she
easiest.
was dead.
With
Kate Sith because he's a jackass.
Fuck that guy.
I just felt Barrett was the most trustworthy. Like, he was the most committed to the cause.
He's always been with you.
Yeah. He has
If-
started
if-
Avalanche.
If Vincent was closer, I would have given it to him because he's cool.
Yours is just purely on proximity because you can't be bothered to walk 3 extra feet to give it to somebody you can trust.
That is correct, yes.
Yeah, you defeated the Red Scorpion together
Yeah.
back in the day.
Attack while its tail's up.
Speaking of character reactions, this is going back a little bit, but you know when Aerith-th-th-th dies and Cloud is like, and all the characters you have with you, Cloud's kind of stood there looking at the body, and like the characters kind of go one that you have with you one by one, go up to him and kind of react a little bit. I had Yuffie with me then because I use Yuffie quite a lot, and she just proper like has this complete meltdown and throws herself on Cloud, and Cloud is just like, nope, get off, leave me alone.
Yuffie's another character I don't ever use.
I use her all the time.
My main crew
Oh,
is Cloud,
interesting.
Vincent, and Barret.
Cloud, Vincent, Tifa.
Oh, I need to get Tifa. I like Tifa.
Cloud, Yuffie, and Sid are my go-to.
I
ones.
used Sid last time I finished this game. It's one of my main characters.
I always say I'm going to use different characters, but I always end up using the same ones.
Yep. Okay, so after you give the black materia to somebody, you have a flashback to Nibelheim, where you replay that entire scene as Zack. But Sephiroth is now trying to fuck with Cloud, and
Tifa's with you at this point saying, no, don't believe him.
correct. And this is kind of where Cloud devolves into madness and starts even further questioning what's going on, because Sephiroth is telling him, hey, what I've shown you is the reality. What you remember is the illusion.
So basically what happened is Cloud is told that he was created 5 years ago. He kind of has the memories of someone called Cloud, but he isn't really Cloud. He is a Sephiroth clone.
Yes.
Sephiroth tells him that, and then Cloud basically goes to where Sephiroth actually is, because you've been not following Sephiroth at this point. You've been following Jenova all along.
Dun, dun, dun!
Sephiroth's body is actually encased in kind of like materia or something. I don't know. Inside trees.
Yeah, it's like a spider hung him up from a web.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and then he has brought Cloud all the way here to give him the black materia, and Cloud has a complete meltdown, starts flying, goes up
Well,
in the
it's-
air, can somehow hang upside down, don't know how, and gives Sephiroth the black materia.
Well,
Cloud
exactly
starts off
what
so
they say to him, though. Imagine being told, first of all, you were an experiment, and now you're a failed experiment. But then they say, oh, but you ended up being useful in the end. Sephiroth is like, who would have thought that a failed experiment would have been so integral to what I needed to do?
Well, it's Hojo who mentions that he's a failed one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sephiroth is saying you were created
Oh, yeah.
5 years ago. You have these memories of someone called Cloud, which is why you can remember your childhood. But this is the Nibelheim incident when you weren't there, but you remember them. But then Hojo's also there, and he's the one who recognizes Cloud as a failed experiment.
Yeah, and Cloud kind of begs him to give him a number, doesn't he? Because he's not sure who he is at this point.
Yeah, he starts off so strong as well, because Sephiroth takes Cloud and Tifa to the scene where Nibelheim's on fire, and Sephiroth is like, "Go and have a look. That picture should still be here." And Cloud's like, "Yeah, well, it's not going to be me. He's going to show me it's not going to be me." And like he's trying to play tricks with me, and he starts off so strong, and Sephiroth just breaks him down and breaks him down and breaks him down.
What a bastard.
Love
This is
it.
also the first point we get our glimpse of Weapon, which is looking at them with its eye behind where Sephiroth is.
He's like Godzilla.
Yes, he's so close to the biggest threat to the planet. He could have woke up a bit earlier and just killed him. I mean, come on. Because you find out the weapon is being created to basically protect the planet. It's the planet's defense system, essentially. And after Sephiroth gets the black materia, you get a cutscene where all these weapons come out of the North Crater and are unleashed upon the world.
Well, it's important to note, too, at
so
this point,
badass.
though, that Sephiroth reveals more about the power of Jenova. It gives you the ability to change your looks and your voice. And that's how Tifa's memories, or that's how Cloud was created, is Jenova merged with Tifa's memories and therefore melded things together to kind of give him this artificial past.
Yeah.
And Tifa's there trying to talk him down off the ledge and say, don't think about it right now.
Why has everybody stopped speaking?
I thought Eric was still going and cut out.
I did too.
Yeah, me too.
No. Because at that point, when he reveals that, then you can see how Sephiroth tricked Barret into coming to help by posing as
Red 13.
Tifa. For me, he posed as Tifa, and
Yeah, it was me. Tifa 2 for me.
gets Barret to bring the black materia over. And Cloud, you can tell he's already broken because he starts apologizing for not living up to being Cloud, and maybe someday she'll meet the real Cloud. So he's resigned himself to the fact that he has no idea who the hell he is.
Speaking of the remake before, these scenes where Cloud's, like I said, he's just getting battered down mentally. Like, because I think we've all mentioned before on the Facebook page how we're not all massive fans of the voice actor for Cloud in Advent Children, and that same voice actor is voicing Cloud again. And I really hope he does a good job of really showing like Cloud's breakdown at these points, because if he doesn't do a good job of it, it's going to ruin it for me, I think.
It needs to be subtle.
Yeah.
It can't be this really expressive, overly emotional breakdown.
Mm.
You know, kind of the example that comes to mind is at the beginning of The Last of Us. If you haven't played that, the really emotional scene at the beginning. There was a
Oh man, gets me every time.
there was a behind the scenes documentary that they were talking. It was Elias Tefexis, right? No, not Elias. Who did the voice acting for that? Troy Baker. I'm sorry, Troy Baker.
Yeah.
Was
He
talking
does
about
everything.
this scene in particular and how many times they had to go through shooting this, and he would just dig up the shittiest parts of his past to get into character for this, and it was just this overly expressive, emotional response. And in the end, Neil Druckerman came in and said, "We got to reshoot this one more time. Do it this way instead." And it turned out to be the shot that they took, and it's just this very broken response of almost no emotion. And I feel like that's how this needs to be done as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Cloud's really whiny in Advent Children.
Very.
It just
I don't
doesn't
think he
really
got a lot
fit.
of time. Didn't get a lot of leeway to do much with the character though, because there's not a lot of dialogue really. It's mostly fighting.
But anytime he's talking, it's just whining.
I liked it.
The movie was great, but I think they need to reevaluate how they're portraying Cloud.
Well, hopefully we might see it E3. Fingers crossed.
Ooh.
I won't get my hopes up though.
So this is also where Hojo admits that Cloud was a Sephiroth clone that he created after the real one died. So this is the first time that you actually realize that the real Sephiroth is dead, correct?
Yes. Well,
Yes.
they presumed he was dead, but basically he fell into the live stream, and that's where the reason he's in the North Cave is because the live stream is because it's going towards the wound from Genova all those years ago. The live stream generally flows towards there, so that's why the real Sephiroth actually ended up at the North Cave, which is the one that you actually end up handing the black materia to, because Sephiroth himself has to actually summon it.
And the Genova reunion theory is proved here as well, because Genova's been separated and it's all coming back together to become one again. And that's why all these clones are coming back. And if Cloud is truly a clone, then he's been drawn back for the reunion.
Yes.
And Sephiroth's original body is the reunion point, not Midgar where they had originally thought. And that's why they took Genova over there.
Yeah, because that's right. Hojo thought that they'd all congregate to wherever the main part of Genova was.
Correct.
How wrong he was. Which
Then
is, again, do you remember me saying last time that Cloud going near Genova in the Shinra headquarters could have potentially what kicked all of this off? This is where I kind of base that on, because obviously Genova's being held captive there, and they were managed to hold it. Cloud is in the Shinra building that one time. Looks at Genova. Genova looks straight back at him with her boob eye, and then like hours later, she smashes out. Well, they say she, you call it mother. It's, I suppose.
Yeah.
Breaks out of where it's being held, and then causes all this shit to happen. So this is where I think Cloud with the Genova cells in him goes near Jenova, Jenova realizes that there's Jenova cells nearby, and this is where it breaks out.
So he's the catalyst that he sets out to fix.
Yes, yeah.
Huh.
That's kind of a little
stupid Cloud. What a moron.
Yeah, stupid Tom the hero.
Well, then there's another flashback at the train station that reveals it's actually been 7 years, not 5, since he joined Soldier. So Cloud gets his wish, joins Soldier, and then quits after the Sephiroth incident and continues working as a mercenary.
But you get a bit more of that. You remember that secret cutscene that I told you guys about last time?
Yes, I went and watched
Oh,
that.
shit, I
Yeah,
forgot
you-
to go watch that.
You get more information from that, like a bit later on after the whole Cloud thing goes on.
And this is where Tifa admits too that, or you find out that Tifa actually felt that when Cloud left, there was something strange about what he was saying. So she took this Avalanche job in Midgard to be closer to Cloud.
Well, she found it strange that because obviously the original Nibelheim incident that he recollected in Calmtown, she has the same memories, but he wasn't there. So he managed to recollect this entire story that she also remembers, but also she remembers him not being there at all.
So at this point, she could have said, "No, Cloud, you weren't there."
Yeah,
But instead, she just feeds into it.
yeah, because she's
She
concerned
wanted
about him.
to evolve the plot.
That's good of her.
Anyway,
Oh,
Barret...
how badass is the cutscene where Weapon comes out?
Oh,
It's so
man.
cool. It's actually all the weapons come out, though. I didn't realize.
Yeah,
Which I assume they must have added in for the international version. Because Emerald and Ruby aren't in the normal version. The original
don't?
Japanese release. No.
I didn't know that.
They
Wait,
are
say that
optional.
again?
Emerald and Ruby were not in the original version of Final Fantasy VII. They're only in the international version.
So, side note, I'm at the point where I can fight all the weapons. I can't find Ruby. Ruby just doesn't show up.
Are you're on disc 3, right?
Yeah,
Are you
And
in the
you've
right
defeated-
place?
Have you defeated Ultimate Weapon?
yeah.
Weird.
Just
Emerald's
not
there. Emerald's there, right?
Yeah, anytime I go underwater, Emerald is there.
That's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
God, I forgot how much that thing freaks me out.
Every time you pop out of wherever you are, boom, weapon.
Yep, I came out the Gelnika. He was literally in front of me. I was like, why? Oh, freaks me out.
So Barret and Tifa end up falling asleep for 7 days.
Well, she does, because they escape. Shinra actually takes them with them on the high wind, don't they, to escape?
Yeah,
Because
But
What a lazy bugger.
they're set to
7
be
days.
executed.
At Junon.
Junon.
Well, Tifa wakes up and Barrett's there, and she's like, "Well, where's Cloud?" And Barrett's like, "We have no idea. He fell in." Because when Weapon comes out, Sephiroth and Cloud fall into the live stream,
Yes.
and then she says, "Well, what about Meteor?" And there's that ace bit where Barrett opens up the blinds, and very slowly you see like just Meteor up in the sky.
It's so cool that how it's just in the sky, just foreboding and coming down upon you. And this is where the map music transforms into a more kind of somber.
Instead of
Torn.
being majestic and adventurous, it's just like, oh man, this place is fucked.
Yes.
And Barrett mentions that they keep being attacked by Weapon as well.
Junon.
Yes. And then
Thankfully,
yeah, like you
they've
said,
got a big ass cannon.
Which doesn't do anything.
It fires shots.
Well, yeah, but it's not effective.
It is.
doesn't it kill
weapon.
that weapon though?
It kills that weapon.
I thought that was... Which weapon was that?
I looked this up earlier in the week. That is Sapphire weapon.
Oh, see, I thought that was just one of the other weapons that... No, I guess you're right, because it does blow a hole through it.
Yeah.
Who has a nifty mouthpiece thing which retracts. It's weird.
Like Alien.
I
Yeah.
like how I like how when Tifa is set to be executed and then the room locks and shit starts going haywire, Barret can't get the door open. He's like, hey, just hold your breath, I'm coming back, and just proceeds to run further and further and further away from her.
Yeah, how long could Tifa hold her breath? Well, actually, she can probably hold it for 10 minutes, because that's how long you can fight Emerald for water if you don't have the underwater materia.
I thought it was 20.
Is it not 10?
I thought it was 20.
It might be 20, I don't know.
So, just real quick, because I have it right here in front of me. I am flying around currently the Gold Saucer Desert. Ruby Weapon is not here.
Should be.
It's not.
Should be.
Nope. It's usually just like a little red nub that pops out, right?
Yeah.
Or do you have to physically get off and walk over it?
There should be the little like red.
You can't walk across the desert.
With a
You have
gold
to use the
chocobo, you
chocobo.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is no ruby weapon here. Interesting. Anyways.
That's odd.
I'm just having a look now that you're not the first person to experience this.
No.
Oh, I'll be sad if I can't fight ruby weapon.
Try fighting a few random battles on the world map and see if that makes them show up.
That's literally what I've just read now.
Interesting.
Yeah. Try find a few battles near the desert, it says, and then just keep like be near the desert, fight, and then see if it appears, and then just keep fighting. Something should hopefully appear. Is what I've literally just read.
Or go into towns like North Coral and come back out.
I've been looking for ruby weapon for a few hours. You know, just popping back, hoping it'll appear at some point.
Weird.
But anyway, you break out, you get out of Junon, and you have to go find Cloud.
Oh, we're not
And
going
this
to talk
is-
about the slapping fight.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
should talk about this. Is
Yeah,
it
this
possible
is-
to
Can I mention
lose?
something? You know when Tifa walks along the cannon, there's something that really bugs me here, because later on, the cannon gets moved to Midgar, right? And they power it up using the Midgar reactors. And it's at this point when Scarlet goes, we need a new name for it. I'm going to call it the Sister Ray. But when you're walking along the cannon at Junon with Tifa, the cannon quite clearly already says Sister Ray on it. And it's always really, really bugged me.
No, I think you're misinterpreting that, Mike, because I think basically Rufus just calls it a weapon, and she doesn't want that. She wants it to be called by its proper name. I think, again, it's just something that's lost in translation. I think it was always meant to be
probably.
called Sister Ray, but I don't know.
Interesting.
So it doesn't have to annoy you so much next time.
I
No,
found
I'll
Ruby
be
Weapon.
as annoyed as I want to be.
I got it.
You got what?
Ruby weapon.
You playing on it right now?
It was bothering me, so I found it.
You've got a podcast to do. Put that game down, son.
You guys can hold it down.
Amazing.
No, we can't. We can't do this without you.
You mean you didn't save the show?
No, I did.
Okay. Anyway,
Oh, yeah,
after the slap fight, you have to go find Cloud.
Yeah, they steal the high wind. Woo!
Finally,
cool
30 hours into a game, you get your aircraft.
That is true of all the PS1 era Final Fantasies, though.
They want you to
Yay.
experience the game.
And probably
Well,
Final
but-
Fantasy VI as well, actually.
I replayed Final Fantasy VIII recently, and I forgot how long it took to get the Ragnarok.
The Ragnarok is the coolest airship.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
Fuck yeah, I love it.
Mm.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, just thinking about it. But
Ragnarok.
back to last show where we were talking about how sometimes in this game they give you zero direction on where to go. This is another one of those
Yes, it is.
instances. I found Cloud entirely on accident. So I got the high wind and took off and just happened to be heading south and saw this village. I'm like, oh, new village. I'm going to go check it out. Walk in. I'm like, oh, there's Cloud. Awesome. Completely on accident.
That was how it would be unless you had a guide. But
Yeah, there's-
I remembered where he was, so
I can't remember who it is you speak to, but there are definitely hints somewhere where, because they talk about your actual team talk about they need to go somewhere where live stream sometimes bursts out of the earth, but they don't really mention where it is. But you can speak to other people. I can't remember for the life of me where it is, and they hint that it might be in like a southeasterly direction. But I will be honest, first time I ever played, I looked at a guide. I just know that he's there now, but finding it out by yourself would take some time, I think.
Which I think is kind of cool because it encourages you to go explore the map a little more.
And everywhere has, like most people's dialogue has changed quite a bit since Meteors in the Sky.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's this sort of, foreboding, depressed attitude through most of the people you talk to now, because obviously they're all fearful of this thing coming down.
Oh, it's worth saying at this point you've taken over control as Tifa instead of Cloud as well. If you remember.
Yes.
And this is where I started doing some AP farming outside of Mediel.
Ooh.
To level up all of my all materials and sell them for a cool 1.4 million gil.
Oh yeah, make it rain.
I never knew about that before. Just didn't know. I thought when you sold
I didn't know that either. I never sell anything on Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, no. The all materia, it's super quick to max out, especially if you have your double growth, and you just sell it for 1.4 million.
Yep.
I had like 6 or 7 of them, just because every time you master a materia, you keep it, plus another version of that same materia is born at level 1. So by selling it, you don't lose materia.
I imagine with the 3 times speed on the PS4 version as well, that would be pretty damn good.
Well, once you get Cloud's triple growth weapon and you go into the North Cave by the Eerie pools, you just level that shit up immediately. You get more money and you know what to do with.
Well, one of the reasons I use Sid quite a bit is because he's the only other character that has a growth weapon. So between him and Cloud in the cave, like flying.
What's his triple growth weapon?
What's it called?
And
I can't remember. I'll find out in a second.
I wonder where it is.
I can't remember where I got it either. Look, talk amongst yourselves, people.
Shall we? So Cloud is in kind of this vegetative Mako poisoning state because he'd fallen into the life stream. And Tifa decides, you know what, I'm going to stay here with him. So you take over control as Sid.
Here we go. Sid's triple growth weapon. It's the scimitar, and
I've got that.
It's in the chest outside. You know when you go and do the underwater reactor with the submarine?
Yeah.
It's in the chest outside the submarine.
Oh, well, I have it.
I do too.
Maybe I'll start using Sid to just power up these materia.
You can only put 2 materia on it, though.
Ooh. Yeah, Clouds you can only put 3.
Yeah.
But they level up so quickly.
Yeah, Sid's is linked, though, so I'm plowing my AP into Phoenix and finally on Sid's linked triple growth.
Nice. I'm drawing a blank as to how we get Cloud here. Because you run around as Sid for quite a while.
It's the huge materia quest.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Which is not my favorite part of the game, I'm going to be honest.
No, because you have to go do that stupid Fort Condor fight.
And you have characters who you don't really want to use. Well, in my case, both Tifa and Cloud, who are both characters, you have to use Cloud, but I always use Tifa, and she's gone too. And it's just, you have to swap all your materia over. It's a pain in the ass.
Tom, the Fort Condor thing, you can actually kind of cheat your way through. If you put one army down and just let them march up,
yeah,
you can just fight the last person and that's it.
Yeah, but then you don't get Phoenix then, or the huge materia.
You get the huge materia.
Do you get Phoenix?
You don't get Phoenix though. Definitely not. If you lose that you don't get get Phoenix, which is.
Well, if you beat the final guy. If you beat
the commander,
Oh, sorry, I misunderstood what you said. I thought you meant let them get to the top and the battle. Sorry, my apologies.
No, let them get to the top so you just fight the commander. Because can you actually repel the army 100%?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Sorry, go
I
on.
have done.
Huh.
I've managed to, but it's
It's
epic,
actually
though. It takes a
really
while.
easy.
Yeah.
I spent
Just set the
so
speed
much
to
money.
max and put loads of defenders down, and you're pretty much done. And the stones and the fire catapults.
See, even easier than that actually. If you because there's the red line, you can't put any guys below the red line.
Yeah.
So if you put literally at the beginning before the actual battle, if you put there's one of the guys that's like who moves quicker than the others. So literally, because you can have up to 20 guys at once, like defensive weapons and guys, you can have up to 20 at once. So you literally put one of the fast guys right where you can go the lowest. Then as soon as the battle starts, get him to move down as quick as he can, which means the red line moves down further and further down. Keep having him move forward. All the while, you're putting more new guys in.
Oh, I didn't know you could put new guys in
You can put new guys in.
Yeah.
It costs
as
you
the
gil.
battle's going.
Yeah. So it costs you gil. So as you're moving further down, the red line goes further. So what happens is if you end up with a point where there are 0 enemies, you win. So you move the guy further down and the line further down, and then you literally only have to kill like 3, maybe 5 of their guys, and you win.
That's definitely easier.
And if, like any war, if you have infinite funds, you can just continue to plow through soldiers.
That's how war works.
Jeez. More catapults. More cannons.
So do you have
Keep
to
going.
do you do all of the huge materia stuff before you get Cloud back?
Yes,
I didn't think
apart
you
from
did.
the Rocket Town one.
Yeah, because it's the submarine.
Yeah.
So you do
Oh,
two.
yeah,
You do the train and the and Fort Condor. Because
I think
isn't it Kate Sith who tells you that it's Shinra who's up to something with the huge materia? Because the team are at a bit of a loss of what to do next. So
So they just need a
Kate
side
Sith's-
quest while they wait for Cloud to get better, basically.
Yeah, and then Kate Sith's like, oh well, they're doing something with huge materia to try and meteor, and that's when basically they say, oh, let's go and get it ourselves.
I don't understand why they don't want the huge materia to have hit Meteor.
Because it would destroy it, because the huge materia is this ancient collection of knowledge. And Cloud explains that when he's on.
But then they wouldn't be killed by a giant meteor. So it's a good
but
sacrifice,
he's saying
I
that
feel.
there's a different way to do it, because if you have Holy to combat it, they're hedging their bets on using Holy, like Ares
They don't know
wanted
about
to.
Holy at this point.
Yeah, it's true. They don't.
Oh, they don't. Yeah.
Can we also mention the fact that Shinra's plan is basically the film Armageddon?
Yes, it is.
To fire a rocket into obviously there's an asteroid in Armageddon. They don't call it meteor, but fire a rocket up into it essentially.
Maybe they stole the plot from Final Fantasy VII. We'll never know.
So did you guys actually get the train to stop from hitting Coral?
Yes, and I have no idea how. I just hammered the buttons.
You have to do it in time.
It wasn't working. I was pressing everything and it wasn't doing anything.
It's
I don't know if
just
it's because I don't know if it's because I remapped the controls or what, but it just wasn't
You're the
working.
worst.
Yeah, that'll do it.
But then you get Ultima if you stop it from hitting.
Yeah, I got Ultima.
Yeah. Then so you go back to Mediel to find Cloud. Ultimate weapon shows up. You fight him for the first time, and then he flies away. And from here, this is where the ground starts to shatter apart, and Cloud and Tifa both fall into the life stream together, where Tifa has a little bit of a breakdown, and Cloud is searching for himself here. So you have all these different representations of Cloud. One is really giant. One is kind of a kid Cloud. You have his memories from Nibelheim, kind of merged together in this weird nexus. And you have to go through these different memories with Tifa to try to reconstruct yourself. And Tifa reveals here to Cloud physically that no, you did not come to Nibelheim 5 years ago.
Yeah, because isn't she trying to? Because obviously she remembers Cloud as a child, he remembers himself as a child, but their stories about Nibelheim don't match up.
But
so
what's
they're trying to
interesting-
basically remember what memories they both have.
What's interesting, though, is she talks about Cloud like she isn't talking to him. She refers to him physically in the third person. Like, Sephiroth said, Cloud made up his stories by listening to my stories. And she's saying this to Cloud about it sounds like she's talking about a different Cloud.
Is that not because she's inside his subconscious, though, and she's trying to help him piece it together? But he's not really Cloud at the moment because he needs to piece it together.
I mean, that could be.
Intelligent thought there, my friend. First one of the year.
So she... Whew.
Where's my party popper?
But she reveals that she still believes that he's the Cloud from Nibelheim.
Yes. I love this section, though. I feel it's really well done. And it makes sense in a way that the most of the game hasn't.
Well, and you learn a little bit, too, about Cloud's motivations for doing what he did. He says that he joined Soldier to get Tifa to notice him because he felt like he was too scrappy, too scrawny, and he wanted to be like all of these Soldier members. He felt he wasn't good enough for her and needed to do something.
Yes, he wanted to be friends with her when they were younger, basically, and he was never allowed to be. And the first time he ever met her was when her mother died.
And she goes over to Mount Nibel, and she ends up falling down, and Cloud gets the blame for it.
Yes.
And it's important because Tifa at this point is telling Cloud to think of a special memory to help kind of reground yourself, and she shares this memory of what's special to her, where she's in that coma for 7 days and wakes up, and then that kind of sparks Cloud to think about and come to terms with the fact that he was there in Nibelheim, but not as Soldier. He was as a Shinra foot soldier.
And he hides from Tifa the entire time with his Shinra helmet on.
Yeah.
But one thing I was going to mention on the last show, and I completely forgot to. You know the original, because obviously when Zack and the two Shinra soldiers come in, and obviously Cloud is to Zack's right. If you, on the original Calm Town flashback, where Cloud is in the middle as the soldier, as a member of Soldier, when Sephiroth says something about, "Oh, this is your hometown," if you actually look, a bit of continuity here, Sephiroth actually looks towards where Cloud would have been as the Shinra soldier, not as a member of Soldier.
Huh.
Okay.
Sephiroth looks to his
I thought
left.
that was a little odd. I do recall that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So little foreshadowing there.
So in this flashback too, Sephiroth throws Zack out of the Genova cell, and then Cloud runs in and stabs Sephiroth, with Zack telling him, "You need to kill him." So Cloud actually at that point is the one who killed Sephiroth 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, he strikes him. He manages to injure him, and then Cloud's basically on his way back out. And then Sephiroth comes, and he's there with Genova's head, and then stabs Cloud. But Cloud, instead of going down, lifts Sephiroth up by the sword that's actually impaled into Cloud and throws him and the Genova head into the life stream.
How does that happen? I just
What do you
don't
mean?
get that bit.
do
Like,
you mean?
how does Cloud do that? Because Sephiroth hits him with the sword, then kind of wiggles it a bit and says, "No, it can't be." Then Cloud somehow gets a Herculean feat of strength, picks him up by a sword, which is impaled through his chest.
So that's
and throws
proof
him-
that Cloud isn't a failed Sephiroth clone.
But he hasn't been experimented on at this point. It's after this.
Oh.
I mean, it's open to interpretation, but you could argue that it's one of those sort of old storytelling tropes where he's overwhelmed with emotion and all these things are happening, and he just
The
finds it
mom
inside of
lifting a
himself.
car off her child.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
And surely after this, because it's not made clear during the game, this is where Hojo takes Cloud and Zack and starts experimenting on them, right?
Yes, so that's what that secret cutscene. That's what you sort of see the end of.
Mm-hmm. But you don't see them actually get taken to be experimented on at any point. This is expanded upon in Crisis Core. So this is the thing that people have when they talk about Final Fantasy VII. They talk about these inconsistencies where everything's not as clear as it could be. So I'm hoping for the remake they really tidy this up and make it all make sense. And
They really have to pull in Crisis Core into this, though. They have to fold that into this game, though, because so much of what happens in Crisis Core is genuinely pertinent to what's going on in the story.
But it's also, like you said earlier, the videotape, the Professor Gast's videotapes. You can miss those. the secret cutscene with Zack and Cloud's escape. You can miss that. And it's like both of these things are really integral to the story. And to have them as optional things that you can miss it baffles me.
And after this, all of Cloud's memories rejoin, and he is just right as rain again. And finally has an understanding of who he is.
One of the things I like from this is because on the flashback where you realize that it was Cloud, back on the truck where the Shinra soldier had travel sickness, it turned out to be Cloud with the travel sickness. And he'd never had it before. But later on, when you're in the submarine, he has a moment where he suddenly realizes he has travel sickness again.
Yes.
Which I always kind of liked that.
It's like they knew what they were doing.
Ooh, and this is where I started doing a ton of side quest stuff.
Oh yeah, choke
like
breeding.
The waterfall cave with Lucretia, which is a crazy little story. You learn that Vincent was actually a Turk.
Yes.
Who wasn't able to stop Gast and Hojo from making Sephiroth.
This is correct.
And he was shot and killed for arguing. But he was then in turn given Genova cells as, hey, we're going to experiment on you.
Shouldn't that mean Vincent was a Sephiroth in a way as well and should have wandered towards the reunion?
Well, he was there at the reunion.
Yeah, but he didn't have a meltdown.
No, but he was there at the reunion, so technically the reunion theory is proved. Yes.
Nah, not having that.
But one. Lucretia is also Sephiroth's mom, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So while she's pregnant with Hojo's baby, which is Sephiroth, they experiment on the baby with the in the womb with Genova cells.
But so we may have talked about this last show, just refreshing myself. Vincent had a thing for Lucretia, though, as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just can't imagine. I can't imagine her going for Hojo. It's a bit odd.
Well, you mentioned last time, Dan, that you know she's pregnant with Hojo's baby, and you say it's never really alluded to whether that was by force or not.
Yeah. Because Hojo's a creepy guy, so.
It's those glasses.
How about that Junon submission?
Easiest thing in the world, that.
Yeah. But I didn't actually go to the Sunken Leader sub immediately after. So I'd gotten all of the huge materias, and I'm looking in Bugenhagen's observatory. I'm like, I'm missing one. I know I did all of it. So if you actually don't go back down and search for that sub and go into it, or just touch it, you don't get that huge materia.
So yeah, I've missed the Rocket Town one because I couldn't get the code in time.
I don't know why, but for some reason, I remember the code from my teenage self.
Isn't it like circle, square, XX?
XX. Yeah. I don't know how I remembered it.
I thought it changed, so
no,
I didn't look it up. The submarine mission, if you fail it, you get the red sub instead.
You have to be real bad if you fail that.
It took me about 30 seconds. I just chased after. Well. Yeah, that's the point. But I thought about going back and maybe trying to redo the code thing, but then I was like, you know what, it doesn't matter that much. I'll just crack on.
But in the Rocket Town bit, though, this is where we were talking earlier with Cloud is protesting launching this materia. He views preserving the knowledge as more important. And Sid kind of leaves it up to him because Sid is all about this whole let's launch this thing into space. But he finally pulls himself back and says, you know what, it's up to you, man. The huge materia is up there. I'll kind of go along with whatever you want.
Because Sid just wanted to go to space, really.
Yeah, and once he gets out there, he realizes, you know what, my life's mission is over. I got what I wanted. Let's...
He also finally realizes that he's been horrible to She-Ra. Which is
because
nice.
There was an issue with the number 8 oxygen tank blowing, and he realizes, she was right.
Yeah, so he shouldn't shout all those obscenities at her all the time.
So when you take all the huge materias to Bugenhagen in the Forgotten City, you learn, the planet is in crisis, and this is where he now reveals to the group, you need to get the white materia holy. And holy will only reveal itself to a soul seeking to repair the planet. The planet is the one who decides who gets holy.
Yes. You also have to, at this point, go in the sub to get the key to the ancients.
Which, again, if you don't know what you're doing, you'll sit forever to try to find this stupid
They
thing.
give you a clue saying it's a place where sunlight cannot touch.
Great, so anywhere on the ocean floor.
That would make me... I remember this from the past. I remember this making me think of Midgar because they don't get
yeah.
sunlight. But that's not true. So, you need this key.
Well, I mean,
basically,
there is that huge gap where Sector 7 used to be. They get some sunlight.
Yes, I suppose.
So you go, you find the key, you come back, you find holy glowing. You learn the cannon has now been moved to Midgar.
Well, the other interesting thing they find out at the Forgotten City is that what Aerith was doing there in the first place was trying to summon holy, and the white material will glow pale green once it's been summoned, which is obviously what happened when you saw it bouncing into the water. And it's then that they realize, they say, well, why hasn't holy worked yet? And it's then that they realize that Sephiroth is actually blocking holy.
With his big ass.
Yeah, so that's when they realize that, you know, planet can be saved by holy if all this is right, but they need to stop Sephiroth. And then that's the point where you find out about the cannon.
And then
Just
you
after
go
that.
to Midgar and you fight Diamond Weapon.
Yes.
Who pops out of the sea and moves incredibly slowly towards the beach. I laughed at your comment, Mike. You just put on the comments on Facebook, you just put #cankles.
Yeah.
Well,
Because he takes sodding ages to walk to the beach. He really does.
So they fire the cannon, kills the weapon. The weapon, in turn, before it dies, fires all these missiles at Midgar, which hit the tower that Rufus is in and ends up killing Rufus.
No, it doesn't.
So you think.
Ooh, so you're assumed to think it kills Rufus.
Yeah, you don't find out in the game that. Well, in the game, they outright say that he's dead.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but he's in Advent Children, so, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plot hole.
There's quite a few cliffhangers. I mean, I mentioned about the ending having quite.
We'll
And
save
a
that
lot of
for
it is answered from Advent Children.
Disc 3.
Sorry?
We'll save that for the Disc 3 show, though.
Yeah.
Just trying to wrap up Disc 2 here.
We're off to Midgar to parachute in.
Did anybody fight Ultimate Weapon before doing this?
No, I've left that for
Okay.
my disc 3.
Okay. This is where you find out that Kate Sith is really Reeve, though.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
it's
had
Kind of
been-
it kind of reveals
yeah.
himself to Heidegger and Scarlet, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Because this is where Hojo. The reason why they go into because obviously the cannon destroys the force field that's over the cave, North Crater, where Sephiroth is, and it's at this point where Hojo has taken control of the cannon and is basically overloading all of the reactors, and basically Midgar will end up exploding if they don't stop him. So
during
that's
that
why they go
cutscene,
into Midgar.
did anybody else notice that every single one of the reactors was functioning despite having two of them been blown up momentarily before?
Yeah, I did see that.
Oh, I didn't notice.
I can't imagine they would have rebuilt those reactors that quickly.
Well, how long's it been, though?
I don't know. How many times have you slept in and in?
There was at least 7 days when Tifa was
Yeah.
unconscious.
And Shinra also said they're not going to rebuild things, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
probably another inconsistency.
I'm looking forward to seeing how they remake the skydiving scene.
I think they did it again in Dirge of Cerberus.
Did they?
You definitely assault Midgar at some point. I can't remember if you parachute in or not. I think you do.
I don't know. I haven't played that. I have it.
Have you not?
Haven't played it.
Oh, it's a pretty good game, actually.
It's not sealed, I'll tell you that much.
And it's revealed there's another weapon in that one, which isn't in Final Fantasy VII.
Ooh. Ooh.
Mega weapon.
Eric, if you get your heated toilet seat, get some plastic, you'll be able to start sealing your own games.
Yes.
Oh, shit, son.
More incentive for Dan to come over and unseal them.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna seal these right back up.
Did you guys decline the final fight with the Turks?
No.
I did.
I didn't get the option because I still haven't done Wu Tai.
Oh.
So
I kind of wish I wouldn't have because there's more stuff you can steal from them.
Yeah, there's two armors, two different armors, and there's
The Proud Clod, where you fight the giant mech that has Heidegger and Shinra
Scarlet
in it.
inside.
Scarlet, yeah.
Well,
That took ages to beat that.
Yeah.
one Knights of the Round. Boom.
I have yet to cast Knights of the Round.
Honestly, like I did all the chocobo breeding as soon as I got Cloud back. So I
Should
had
we
Knights
save
of the
our
Round, so-
conversation about chocobo breeding for the Disc 3?
Oh yeah, I will.
Okay.
But I mean, I did all
Shut
that
up,
before.
Mike. Shut
And I
up.
got that. Every single boss since then. Boom. 2 minutes done.
Did
Anybody?
anybody
Oh,
go? So when you're walking through the train tracks, if you come towards you like 12 screens, there is what materia is that that's there?
W item.
Yeah.
I was literally about to say the same thing. That was so odd.
Yeah. Same person.
Yeah. So I immediately put my megalixirs up to 99.
I felt so guilty for actually doing that.
Yeah, but it's in there, so it's just so useful.
It's such a dumb glitch. How did that get missed?
I don't know. But
So
I love
W item allows you to select 2 items to cast in battle. So you pick elixir, choose who you want to give it to, pick your next item, and before you select who you want to give it to, just cancel, and whatever your first item was that you picked adds 1 to that tally. So you just go circle X, circle X, circle X, circle X, and you just can infinitely increase whatever item you want.
It's a shame you can't do it with power sources.
I was just going to ask if you could.
No, they're grayed
wow.
out.
Did
Only
they
things
fix
you can
that in
use
the PS4 version?
I don't know.
I don't know.
A couple of guys on the Facebook group said that they did.
The other thing I like,
bastards.
it's not necessarily a glitch, but the other thing that I really like is putting Quadra Magic on my Ultima. Most battles are done as soon as Cloud casts Quadra Magic Ultima. Which my question to you, and you guys might know the answer to this, is that Quadra Magic, how it's tied to a materia, why does it only quad cast once per battle?
Doesn't that need to
Once
level up?
You have to level it up. It's same as all. If all's on the first level, you can only use it per battle, but as it levels up, you can use it more times.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that. That's good to know.
So all of your baby alls that you got from your mastered alls, if you use
Hmm.
that in battle, you'd only be able to use all once until it leveled up. Then it's got 2
Yeah.
stars. You can use it twice and 3 stars 3 times. Once it's master, it just stays all the.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Well, now you
Because
do.
it's the same with your summons. If your summon is only on 1 star, you can only cast that summon once per battle. Then as it goes up, you can use
Yep.
it.
Gotcha. I have not cast a single summon yet.
I've barely used them. I use Choco
I
Mod quite a bit 'cause
I
it's
don't-
stopped, but
I don't use them very much anymore. I think part of they do take a bit too long,
Yeah.
and the payoff isn't necessarily always great. You can probably do more damage in the same amount of time by just
It'd be
attacking.
nice if they gave you the option to turn the cutscene off for it.
I imagine it'll be in remake.
Or
I
just
hope
fast
so.
forward.
So anyway, after
Didn't
the
Final Fantasy IX have that? Final Fantasy IX had the short versions.
Yes, it did.
Cast it the first time, and it's the long animation, and then after that,
Oh.
animations.
See, they made
you
them
can
better
change that
on
in the options.
8. They made them better on 8 because they had the boost function,
yeah,
which you could use, and you could, if you like summoned Eden, which took forever, you could get it up to 255, which was the max. That was cool.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
So after the Proud Clod, you run up, you confront Hojo, who again refers to Cloud as the failure, and now reveals himself to the group as being Sephiroth's father. He offered the woman carrying Sephiroth to Gast's Genova project, injected her with cells, and now
kind
he
of
has
him.
injected himself with the cells and is here to fight everyone.
Did you guys get Barret's ultimate weapon, which is missable if you don't have Barret in your team? Which is really like there's no alluding to that at all. If you have Barret in your team, good, you get it. If you don't, tough shit.
It's in a chest, isn't it?
Yeah, on the way up the thing, but you can't. If you don't have Barret in your team, it's just locked.
Oh yeah, I got it then.
Did anybody go at the Shinra building?
I did.
Yes, and to answer your question from the last show, Dan, those
Yes, I
chests in the
opened them.
shop open up. Yeah,
And I found a weapon called Pile Bunker, which I thought was amusing.
I forgot to go back in and read the Turtle Paradise flyer, so I can't complete that side quest.
I can't remember which one I've missed. I've missed one somewhere, and I can't remember which it is.
Most of them you can go back to. This is the only one that you can't. So now that we're done with this portion, you can never go back into it and read it again.
You also get Kate Sif's ultimate weapon, and
Which I remembered
also,
from our first time through the tower because he sees the M megaphone or the W megaphone and he goes, I don't need this. So he leaves it
Oh, yeah.
when you're
yeah,
trying
they'll
to
pick
escape.
up any random shit usually.
Yeah.
There's also something else in there which I didn't know until. There's I can't remember what it is, but I can't remember what the item is now. But if you go, the room, the floor that had the doors where you could only open 3 doors.
Yes.
They're all open. The items from the beginning are gone. You can't get them, but there's another item in there now. So there's another item there you can get. And also there's something to do with, I don't know if you guys remember, there's like a gym area on one of the floors and there's a vending machine there. And if you put a certain amount of money in it the first time you were there, you can come back and then you can then buy, I think it's a speed source or something like that from it. You can kick it and you get that from it, which I never knew before. I randomly read it in a guide recently.
Did not know
Not
that
worth
either.
not worth it, but
Yeah. It's a lot of effort.
Yeah.
So after you defeat Hojo, who wasn't very difficult,
No.
Nice
Is
it around. Boom.
3 times, lights the round, done.
Leave it for disc 3, goddammit.
You end up back on the High Wind where Cloud kicks everybody off the ship and says, go find your reason to fight. I know why I'm here to fight. I have personal memory. Tifa stays because she's all alone. She doesn't have anything that she doesn't have anyone or anything that would miss her if she were gone. So everybody goes back out into the world to discover their true reason to fight, and Cloud fully expects nobody to come back. So
I think at this point, Eric, they need cutscenes where it shows what everybody gets up to,
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
which is not there.
It'd be
shame.
nice to see like Barret reconnecting with Marlene because that's where he goes, isn't it? Marlene.
Yeah, and Red goes back to Cosmo Canyon. Yuffie
How do
probably
they all
goes-
travel across the world without the High Wind?
Exactly.
Who knows?
But Cloud and Tifa end up spending the night on the North Crater. She falls asleep on him, and Dawn is breaking, and she's like, "No, I just want to stay a bit longer." And
They
what
totally bump
Yeah,
uglies as
I
well.
was going to say they bone because he when they go back on the thing on the High Wind, they're all like, "Oh yeah, we saw what you did down there." Tifa just throws herself to the floor.
Oh man. Yeah, they boned.
Totally.
Because it isn't the last thing one of the, I can't remember if it's Cloud or Tifa that says it. I think it might be Tifa. Like the last thing one of them says before the screen fades out is there's more than one way to show you care. Or something like that.
Yeah. This game's just loaded with sexual innuendo. Like the time that Tifa spent all her time with a threesome.
With the threesome, yeah. It's good that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's the end of disc 2.
Well, before we say that's the end, can we mention that secret cutscene? Because I think that's quite important because you can see that on disc 2.
Which
No,
secret
we can't.
cutscene?
Thanks.
No, how dare you?
Which
'Cause
one?
You know the one with Cloud and Zack's escape? Because I think that's actually quite important to tie up. Because obviously Cloud's back to his old self now.
Oh yeah.
But you can go and see if you go into the basement of Nibelheim after you get Cloud back, you can go into the basement of Nibelheim, and you basically see their escape. And this is kind of ties up where, because Sephiroth was saying that he was created several years ago, when really what Sephiroth means is the Cloud with the Genova cells in him was created several years ago. And then he became the clone. They essentially call them Sephiroth clones, even though they're not, because they injected him with Genova cells. They hope to be, as powerful as Sephiroth. And basically, those 2 glass tanks that you see in the basement of the Shinra Mansion, Cloud and Zack are in those, and then they break out, and thanks to Zack, I think he manipulates an assistant or something like that, and he ends up getting out. But Cloud's in a complete. He's comatose. Well, he's not comatose. He's not with it at all. And Zack drags Cloud out of Nibelheim. They manage to get a lift on this truck, and Zack even says, "Oh, it's good to get you out of that uniform here. That's all I had," and sticks him into a soldier uniform, which is why Cloud has a soldier uniform. It's one of Zack's other ones.
I feel like that's also addressed in Crisis Core too.
Yeah, and then
it is. This is the conclusion of Crisis Core. These scenes. This is what happens.
Yeah, and then Zack and Cloud are heading towards Midgar because obviously Zack knew that Aerith was there, so he heads back towards there. They get a lift in a truck, and then they're attacked by Shinra soldiers just outside of Midgar. And then obviously, as you know from Crisis Core, Zack's killed, shot down, and then Cloud kind of comes out of his weird state, grabs the Buster Sword, sees himself in the uniform, and that's how he manages to somehow stumble into Midgar. And that's where basically there was a bit we haven't mentioned earlier when they're trying to figure out Cloud's mental well-being, him and Tifa, that she found him in the train station at Sector 7 and he was kind of passed out. And then it was there where they started talking, where he remembers that he's Cloud and also starts to take in all of Zack's memories at the same time.
Because wasn't Zack talking to Cloud while he was in his comatose state about his...
Yes, about the going to be mercenaries in Midgar and stuff, and the things they've done, things like that. And it was an interesting scene. I hadn't actually seen it before and quite enjoyed it. I thought
I don't think I've seen that scene.
Yeah, I need to go back and see it. Can I still see it on disc 3?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Just literally go into the Shinra Mansion, go in that bit where Sephiroth was reading all the books in the library bit, and it's there. And the interesting thing is as well, if you press circle on the tanks, in the current time, not back in the flashback, she's not controlling anything in the flashback, there's actually where Cloud and Zack were scratching onto the glass, like talking to each other.
Yeah. And you can also go in the back room and read books about their escape and things like that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, you need to go look then.
Now you do.
I also want to mention, the bit after Hojo dies. If you play Dirge of Cerberus, it's actually revealed that Hojo survives this, and he uploads his consciousness into the worldwide network and somehow projects it into another guy called Vice, who is the boss of, Dirge of Cerberus.
Huh.
Turns out he's Hojo.
Oh,
interesting.
I might have to get Dirge of Cerberus.
It's a weird game, but the plot is really good.
It's more of a third-person shooter.
Yes. Vincent is the main character.
I've played it for like 5 minutes, I think.
I watched a buddy play it. I'm like, this isn't Final Fantasy.
But it is, because all the characters are in it.
But it's Yuffie.
Kite Sith. You get to play as Kite Sith for a bit, and he's Scottish.
Ooh.
Well, yeah, if you remember last time, we looked up the actual, what's supposedly the proper pronunciation of Ket Sith, as I call him. And it's supposed to be Gaelic, isn't it? It's like Ket Shee, and that's why they gave him a Scottish accent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, the very end of this too, like Sid's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go to the North Cave, but there's this switch here. I don't know what it does. Shall we pull it?" And then the High Wind basically, instead of being propelled by propellers, it suddenly has like jet engines.
Yeah.
Interesting fact for you though, has no effect on the speed.
No, it doesn't.
It makes it look cooler.
Yeah, it makes it look cooler, but it doesn't make it faster.
So next show, we'll talk all about the side quest stuff, fighting weapons, chocobo breeding, end of the story, and wrap it up. Guys, we have some emails.
Hooray!
You want to send us an email, factorysealed@manatank.com. First email comes from Stephen Rudolph. Says, hey, FS crew.
Is that a new listener?
I think we've seen emails from him before.
Have we?
I think so. He says, long time, first time, as people tend to say. To be totally honest, I don't even really like retro games. I really have no nostalgia for them because I never had a game system until the Game Boy Advance came out. Rayman Advance was a big part of my childhood. I just listen because you guys are just that entertaining. I mostly listen to you guys fuck around and talk about totally insane things, i.e. Captain Smooth Area and the Caramel Crab.
Oh yeah. It's Dr. Smooth Area, actually.
And talk about games that I've never experienced. I actually found you guys through the Mana Tank podcast a number of years ago, so you can thank Matt and crew for getting you guys another loyal listener. I'm still making my way through your backlog, but I'm almost caught up. I'm listening to the Alundra episodes right now. Mike, take note. People listen to all the shows.
Just have to get the digging, don't you?
Yeah, I did. So I'll probably hear this email once I get caught up.
Hey, hang on, wait.
What?
If I may interrupt, right? I was listening to one of your old shows the other day, and I got yelled at by a guy.
You got yelled at by who?
For laughing at you guys, right? So I was at work, and it was last Friday. It was like 26 degrees here, which is obviously really hot for the UK. And I was sat in a traffic jam on the motorway, and obviously I'm like, I don't know, 6 or 7 feet higher. My head is 6 or 7 feet higher than people in their cars. I was stuck in this traffic jam, blistering heat. Everyone had the windows open. The car down next to me had his like sunroof open, and I was listening to you guys, and I laughed at something you said, and this guy in the car next to me just goes, "What the fuck are you laughing at?"
A fucking Ronnie Pickering.
And I looked down at him, puzzled. And then, just as I was about to respond, his lane of traffic started moving. I was just like, what the fuck just happened?
I'm listening to Factory Sealed, you prool.
Oh, man.
Brilliant.
Sorry to interrupt, but...
No, that's good. He goes, so I guess a question as someone who's never really played any retro games, where would be a good place to start? Sorry the question is a bit vague, but still. Keep up
Final
the
Fantasy VII.
general insanity and good work. Cheerio, pip, all that, Stephen Rudolph.
Final Fantasy VII.
Original Mario Brothers.
Final Fantasy VIII.
Final
I was
Fantasy
gonna say
9.
I was going to say original
Rogue
Mario Brothers.
Galaxy.
It's essentially the quintessential like retro games.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sonic.
Yeah. That's a good place.
No, I think start with the Mario, like Super Mario World, Mega Man,
Really?
Sonic.
Nick off with Mega Man. Mega Man shite.
You can go squat on some brat. I think the get your core games in there. You know, Mario,
Yeah, some-
Mario 3 definitely.
Sonic
just
the
called-
Hedgehog.
Just go grab one of those like knockoff Mega Drives or whatever they are and play the games on
yeah.
them. Because you'll have a
Sonic.
great time.
I mean, I have an
Streets of
NES
Rage.
Classic now, thanks to Mr. Ben Schrader, but that will never get opened.
Boo.
Did you guys watch that video of the box of stuff he sent?
Yes,
I
yes.
did. Well,
About some
random.
random shit.
Where's that from?
What do you mean?
Like, is he just sent you it randomly?
Well, he
Like,
said
where's-
he knew I was looking for one of those. It's one of my old college roommates who's a GameStop store manager. It's like, hey, send me $70. Okay, I got a package for you. So he sends it down, and he's like, I put a bunch of random shit in there, so you might want to video that. And random it was.
It was.
Can't wait to
An
pop that
Assassin's
Need for
Creed
Speed 2
calendar.
disc in.
Who's that?
We got another email from Jay Jorgensen. He writes, greetings, FD crew?
Ew.
Why not? Why not?
Factory dealed.
Jay here. I loved your first episode of the Final Fantasy VII series of shows, and I figured I'd write in since it's been a while. Final Fantasy VII is the first RPG I played and was basically the reason I bought a PS1. Well, that and Legend of Dragoon.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, sorry, I don't share his sentiment. I play through it at least once a year, and about 5 years ago, I was playing through when my wife walked into the room and sat down and watched. I was right in the midst of breeding chocobos and tried explaining it to her, and the look on her face told me she might be regretting this marriage. Long story short, she now thinks I have some strange bird fetish. Anyway, let's
Hey, at least you didn't walk in when you were at North Coral and that music was on, because that could be a deal breaker. Just
let's play one of my favorite games, Kill Fuck Marry. obviously we're implanting the 3 girls from the game, but you can do the boys too if you want. So do you understand how this game works?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
So his is Ultra Kill Kate Sith. That POS can lick my balls. Anyway, this has been long enough. So Toodle Pip, until next time, stand to wipe and fat to Aerith and Tifa.
Oh, God. Yeah, kill Kate Sith. Fuck Tifa. Marry Aerith.
Same as Dan.
Marry Tifa.
I want to marry Barret.
Oh, maybe.
Have those boobies for a lifetime. Woo!
Well, Red 13 doesn't get any love here.
He's an animal.
But he speaks.
Red 13 doesn't get any love here.
Oh, God.
You see where I'm going here.
Just me, guys.
Can I just do the middle one? I would say kill Yuffie.
What?
Oh, yeah, she sucks. She sucks. She's the worst. At least Kate Sith is a stuffed animal that you can dispose of.
But surely if you kill him, the other one will just show up.
Oh shit! I didn't think of that.
Yeah. Does it have to be playable characters? Like, what about a chocobo?
Ugh.
Fuck a chocobo, dude.
He wants to marry one.
How about Bugenhagen? That guy sounds like he needs some love.
Does he even have a lower half?
He floats.
He's got the ultimate smooth area.
Yeah.
What about
Go
Genova?
to the toilet.
Yeah, I want to fuck Genova. Come on.
Yeah.
What about Hojo's third form? That one's sexy.
I want to marry that boob nipple. Or that boob eye.
Diamond
What
weapon.
about what about the sister Ray?
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. That's fun for
Oh,
both
what about-
parties.
The Sister Ray sounds like a nun.
What about?
Can I marry Aerith the slum drunk?
Yes,
I
you
would.
can.
I would
Oh,
marry
I know.
Scarlet.
Aerith's mama.
Oh, yeah.
Elmara.
Hey, dude, you'd be in for some real estate there. If she dies, that plot of land she's got.
I know that prime land with all them flowers in Midgard.
That's some gold digging.
Yeah, she slipped off the tower.
Oh,
Them stairs just popped up out of nowhere. Last email comes from Southwest Florida Gamers, Mr. Matt Ernie. He writes, so it's no surprise that you guys are blowing up recently, and it's well-deserved. But with such fanboys such as myself, Mike Tyson, Chad Hager, and the drunk Russian guy... I think he's talking about Vic
Valtteri.
Mies. Yeah, who's not Russian, but I like that.
He's Finnish, I believe.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
like, what are some podcasts or YouTube channels that you all love to listen to or watch? Keep up the good work, Matt Ernie.
I'm particularly fond of the Factory Sealed YouTube show, actually.
I like the Gosh Darn Video Game podcast.
Yeah, it's good, that one.
Yeah. Those guys
I like
don't
Honest
suck nearly
Pizza.
as much.
I like Honest Pizza as well. He's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Just don't read the reviews.
I'll leave us a
listen
better
to-
one.
I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, to be honest.
I don't either.
I do. I listen to Nintendo Voice Chat. That's quite a good one.
There was one that I'd been listening to for quite a while that was about different historical time periods, things like that. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Shut up.
I also really like.
Shut up! Did you listen about that 1700 and whatever it is?
1776. the best date
I love how
ever
much that annoys you.
because you're so dumb.
It's not an important year.
It is. It's the year we sent y'all packing home.
I used to listen to a podcast called Serial as well. That was really good.
Oh, yeah.
That was like a real life detective kind of thing.
No, I thought it was talking about like cornflakes or something.
God damn it.
Have they done a special on Lucky Charms yet?
I must listen.
I can't remember the name of that podcast that I was listening to. I'll throw on Two Dudes and an S every once in a while.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
YouTube-wise, I tend to listen to, watch The Completionist quite a bit. Gerard Khalil. He's good. I like him.
I like
Nice.
Dorkly on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Dorkly's
Yeah, Dorkly's
Dorkly.
good. I like
There's some guy who makes like animate like cartoons of games. I can't remember what his name is, but he's done like Dark Souls and Fallout 4 and things like that, and they're really funny.
Do you guys listen to Jim Sterling at all?
Mm-mm.
Periodically, small
He's
doses.
funny. He can be pretty good.
I don't
And,
really watch
Game
a lot
Grumps
of
as
YouTube
well.
channels.
That's where it's at.
I know. I just too busy.
Podcast-wise,
I
I think
hear
the only video game one I listen to is Factory Sealed, to be honest. I'm not saying that to suck your dick. Like, no, it's true. Like, other podcasts I listen to are usually like TED Talks and stuff like that, or like they're usually wrestling related.
Oh, we've got a fellow wrestling fan at last. Let's do a spin-off.
Mike,
Yes,
what drew you?
yes.
What drew you particularly to this show? Because you go to the video game section on iTunes, and there's just hundreds of shows to choose from, and it just baffles me how people end up listening to us.
Well, I've actually answered this to you guys before. What happened with me was I was replaying Final Fantasy VIII, and I searched for Final Fantasy VIII podcasts, and that's when I found your 4-parter on Final Fantasy VIII, and I started listening to that. And obviously, I know it was a completely different cast, so to speak, then. And I thought, I quite like this. It's good. And then just looked through your playlist of games that you guys were looking at first, and got a select few of ones. Oh yeah, I'd like to listen to that. And obviously, I found that actually there was Tom and Dan on there instead, and it completely almost changed. But I really, really obviously liked the direction, and just went from there really. And Jess as well. Can't forget Jess,
Yes.
who was only present for the first episode of Final Fantasy VIII.
She discovered she couldn't keep up. She tried.
So that's how it happened. For
She
me.
never could.
Yeah. That's how it happened for me. It was literally I searched for a specific game and just fell upon a 4-parter. So
Nice.
look at the draw, really.
Interesting.
I'd be quite intrigued to find. I mean, I know some of the guys mention on your emails how they found you, but I'd be quite intrigued how a lot of them found you. Because on the posts that are on there, most days, even though only a few people may reply, you see that it's been seen by 50, 60 odd people sometimes.
Which is crazy
they must
because we
have
went through this huge
Yeah.
lull of like just nothing. And just in the past month, the community's really blown up.
Which is
good.
great. We love
I like
it.
Oh, yeah.
Couple other housekeeping issues to take care of. We have now officially revamped our Patreon. We've been talking about it for a couple shows now. It is now more accessible. It doesn't have nearly as many random tiers. We've changed the pricing structure on things. Probably one of the coolest things on there is the Factory Sealed Unwrapped, which Mike can attest to is almost a mini show before the show, anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes. I mean, I think one Factory Sealed Unwrapped is like half an hour long. We just refused to get started. That used to be
difficult to get started, to be honest.
It is. We just have to put her in D.
Day.
There it is.
Yeah, there's Tom. That used to be $10, and while it was great, we had a large number of people that donated that for a while. We want to make it more accessible. So we've actually dropped that down to just $1. Just $1 donation. You get every week the Factory Sealed Unwrapped show. Basically, all I do is I just render out the uncut show. So all of the stupid shit at the beginning of the show before we pop the clutch and go is on there for you to listen to for $1.
Nice.
And all of that,
think
I
that's
like
worth it.
all of that money goes directly back into the show,
Giveaways.
which we are going to start doing more of, which we actually have a giveaway for the final episode of the Final Fantasy VII show in 2 weeks.
We do.
I managed to wrangle up a Black Label original misprint copy, mint condition of Final Fantasy VII that we're going to be giving away.
Well
That's
done.
awesome. I can't believe you found that.
It was
Since I'm technically not part of the show, can I enter?
No.
Ah, damn it.
I would say try it.
We'll see how far you get. Give us $50 on Patreon. We'll see how you feel.
Speaking of which, the join us on the show tier used to be much more expensive. We've dropped that down as well. So if you really have a game you want to play and join us on the show, that's now a lower tier. The custom stockings are still on there if that tickles your fancy and floats part of your boat.
We're also, with the giveaways, we want to do one a month.
Yes.
And if people are going to donate towards those tiers, we can do even more. So the more you guys donate, the more we can give away, basically, because we don't take any of the money for ourselves. We put it all back into the hosting, all back into what we buy for you guys. So,
And
I mean,
with that
so we-
giveaway, though, we want to start doing different contests. I don't want it to just be, hey, send us an email. I mean, those are great, but let's face it, the straddle contest that we had yielded some of the most hilarious results. We didn't get many entries in it, though, but still, they were hilarious. So I put out on Facebook, what would you like to see us do for game giveaways? And I really like Shannon McIntosh's suggestion of reenact a game scene in photos and do a side-by-side with the original.
I like that.
I like
Bad
that too.
costumes are a must.
yes. So, Eric, where can we find more about Patreon?
Factory sealed.
No.
Patreon.com/factory sealed. Sorry. But
It's patreon.com/factory sealed. Thank you.
so what do we want to do for this giveaway? Do we want to do Shannon's? Matt also had one of just a factory sealed meme Photoshop mashup.
Oh, either. If people don't
We
want to
could
do
do
the
pic-
reenactment, do both.
Yeah.
Or whichever one we do the other one next time.
Okay.
That's almost sensible.
Oh,
Oh, it's too sensible for this show. I should leave.
damn it, Tom.
You haven't taken away enough brain cells.
Give it a week.
Yes.
So what do we want to do Shannon's? I really like that idea.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
I like
let's
it.
do it.
You got
Why
it.
not?
So we'll throw up a post on Facebook. We'll pin it to the top. You have to submit your photo to that, and that'll be your entry. And if you win, I'll send you a copy of Final Fantasy VII.
It's the Black Label one, which is worth
You
it.
can't even. It's hard to find even the platinum version here, let alone a black label.
With the misprint on it.
Exactly.
And it has the
So-
instruction manual in it. So it's a
Nice.
complete box set.
Nice.
Nice.
Dan, you posted something on Facebook really quick. I don't want to forget this because people asked you a couple questions.
Yes, Heath Ellenberg would like to know Kirk or Picard.
Picard.
Yeah, definitely Picard.
I've never
Nice.
watched Star Trek, so I'm not going to comment.
Boo. Get out.
I know, right?
Buddy Bell, it's been 12 years since I beat Final Fantasy VII. Did you guys feel that the game was shorter than you remember? And also wondering about any different foods your region may have. Oh, God. It's the 2015 biscuit debate all over.
Oh, God.
I feel like we need to tackle that one on the next show. Buddy, send that to us as an email for the next show.
Yes, please.
Also, Dan, I've had American biscuits. They're ace.
Yes.
Yeah, but they're not biscuits, so...
Well, no,
I
they're not.
slaved
No,
over
but-
the stove one morning for Tom to have a biscuit, and guess what that asshole didn't do?
Stop bringing that up, all right? I'm sorry.
I put
I'm
the
sorry.
bowl of biscuits in front of him, and his girlfriend reached across and had one and goes, "Oh, these are good." Tom turned his nose up.
And then used the back of my hand to gently push the plate away.
Like a cat.
To be fair, Tom, if he did it to me and I was in America, I would go, dude, where are my Lucky Charms? I mean, come on.
Every time I'm at Costco and I see a pallet of Lucky Charms, I send Dan a picture.
He does.
No, honestly, Dan, you should try them. Like Hazel has like relatives in America, so sometimes when her uncle comes over, he brings stuff from America for us. And there's this. They're probably not as good as the fresh ones that Eric's mentioned before, but it's these sort of ready mix ones that you have to. They come in a packet and you have to make them up. But they're so good.
Eric, send me a pack over there. Thanks.
I'll send you a pressurized tub.
Thank you.
God.
With gravy, so good.
Chad Wesley Schaefer writes Tifa or Aerith-th-th-th or Yuffie.
I think we kind of answered that already in the kill thingy, Bob.
Oh, and
exactly.
Pertinent to a previous conversation, he says, also thanks for accepting my request to join the group. Found you guys at your Crash Bandicoot episode and have been plowing through the backlog of episodes. Mike, take note. From 50 upward. Great show. I only wish I had found it sooner. Keep up the good work.
From
also
50 upward. Thank you.
Also, Sitter.
Yeah, but I only joined by episode 45, and that's where it got good. So, because I saved the show.
Shut up.
I mean, I think Tom joined on episode 50, and that's when it got awesome. So,
I think I listened to Tom's first episode the other day, actually. I think that's the one I was listening to.
Like, who is this
so
fool?
random.
Yeah,
So random. My first episode, we talked about the FF7 remake.
Oh,
Yes,
Dan
it was that
had
one.
just ghost attacked everywhere.
Yeah.
I really had. I
Yeah.
remember waking up and it had been announced overnight, and I was so excited.
Called in sick to work.
Yep. It's like, I need this now.
Sean
I'll have a lie down.
McIntosh wants to know, did you ever use Cloud in Final Fantasy Tactics? To which, yes, I did.
I'd
Never
never
played
played
it.
Tactics.
Oh my gosh.
Me neither.
I tried it,
Oh.
but I didn't like it. I
It's-
didn't like it.
It is arguably one of the best Final Fantasy games if you
So
enjoy
I hear.
Tactics because of the story. It's so good. But not
I don't
many
enjoy
people
Tactics.
have 45 minutes to an hour to dedicate to one battle.
Each battle. Yeah.
And you can't save mid-battle.
Oh, yeah, no, it sucks. But
That's
I
why you
appreciate
played on
story's
the
probably
War
amazing.
of the Lions on your Vita and you can just suspend it. Boom. Problem solved.
Is that the same game?
Yeah,
Or is
they
that
just retouched
sequel?
it a little bit and kind of made the story a little more comprehensible.
Oh. Okay.
Dude, it's so
I'll keep an eye
good.
out. I'll keep an eye out for that.
Kyle Moore wants to know, do you wipe from the front, side, or back?
From the back.
Yes. If you say
Yeah.
anything other than that.
What the hell?
Dan's sitting here going, I stand up and wipe from the front.
I'm confused about which section is the front and the back.
What? What?
The back.
So you-
It has to
so
be
you
the
wipe,
back.
So you would wipe downwards.
No,
Rather
do you
than
reach
upwards.
from the front or do you reach from the back?
Oh, I
Who
got
reaches from the front?
you. Nobody.
Which also ties into Scott
I
Girardi's
was,
question.
I was thinking he was going for wipe direction. That's why I got
Oh.
confused.
Which ties into Scott's question of aggressive or gentle.
I mean, it depends on the consistency, doesn't
It
it?
depends on what you've had, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or how
It
hairy
really has-
you are.
God.
He asked.
Gamepad
Aggressive.
Sprinter, how long did you need to finish this weird reanimation scene with the girl at the beach of Junon? I didn't understand how to do this. If I did it all or not, all I know is if you would what Cloud did to that kid, a real child, it would be... What?
All I know is if you did what Cloud did to that kid, if you did it to a real child,
Oh,
that
yeah.
child would explode.
Yeah.
Basically what I say.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit last show.
Yeah, we
That's
did.
not
I-
how you
I
do
don't know-
CPR.
No.
No.
Oh yeah.
And Mike, I think your beloved wants to know cream or jam first.
Oh yeah.
Now wait, is this in reference to tea?
No, it's scones.
Yeah.
Scones.
Scones.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who puts cream on a scone?
Everyone.
What do you
The English.
like half and half? Like you just get it wet?
No, not that sort of cream.
Butter.
No,
no,
it's,
like-
it's whipped. It's whipped. So
Whipped.
it's
So whipped butter.
yeah, no, actually,
No,
whipped
it's cream.
No, it's like
Come-
whipped cream,
It comes
like
in a can.
like Cool Whip.
Yeah, like Cool Whip.
Cool Whip and jam on a scone.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good.
Is it?
it's really good.
It sounds
Yeah,
good.
Yes,
it's
it is good.
It's a tradition.
The grocery store down the street has your shitty Heinz tomato beans. I need to go buy a
Oh
can of
yeah,
those.
it does.
I'm
Do
gonna
it.
pour some of that in the garbage.
I bet you would love them.
I know. I bet you would. Salt and tomato.
I like
That's
how
it for-
Eric
that's it
argues
for
with
questions
us. About,
anyway.
like how Eric argues with us about things for England, and yet he invites me on the show and surrounds.
Yeah,
He has to
you've
fiercely
been outnumbered.
defend
You've been
himself.
outnumbered by the Englanders nowadays, Eric.
I know. I need to get
Look,
some
but
sort
it's-
of really. I need to get a Southern American on here.
You've
You
got
do.
American Tom.
Yeah. Hey Tom.
Actually,
Hey, Tom, I'm gonna recruit you to Team America.
no problem. Happy
Okay.
to serve.
To be fair, the three of us are doing well because there's that much of a north and south divide in England about the way things are pronounced and stuff. I'm surprised we haven't pulled out into arguments yet.
That's true.
Because I mean, I'm kind of right in the middle of you two. So
I tell you what, the next scone I get, I'm gonna slap some whipped cream and jam on there. I will open my mind.
it'll be.
You should call it a scone because it's not a scone.
It's a
It's
scone.
a scone.
Scone.
It's not a scone. That's what posh people say.
It's a scone.
Exactly.
Yeah, because we're
Daniel.
posh.
You
The
are.
Queen's English. It's-
Tom is.
I change how I say it depending who I'm with because I know I'll get mocked a certain way.
Oh.
Mike, you shouldn't change yourself for people. Be yourself.
Yes, Dad.
Well, guys, I think that's gonna do it for the show this week.
Nice.
Very good show. I liked it.
We are gonna be doing. Don't forget about our giveaway.
Yes.
You can find us
We
on
also
Facebook.com.
We also have a nice shiny new logo which might be appearing.
We do.
Ooh.
I put a rendition of it up on our Facebook page, like
Which
as
is
the
what,
group,
Eric?
as the group header.
What is that Facebook group page, Eric?
Facebook.com/group/Factory Sealed Podcast.
Thank you, Eric.
Nice.
You're welcome. So looking ahead, after we wrap up Final Fantasy VII, we're going to be moving on to Shadowrun for the SNES.
Oh, not Murder on the Erasure Express.
No, that's
Shut
the week
up about
after.
that goddamn game.
It's gonna have to come next time, right, guys? Right, guys?
It's coming.
Oh, yes.
It's coming.
I've
So,
requested it since 2015.
any final thoughts,
Excellent.
gentlemen?
You're an idiot.
Perfect. Well said. Tom, welcome back. It was a pleasure having you.
Oh,
Let's send
thank you.
let's send Dan to Japan for 4 months.
Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
let's do it.
But we'll be back in. Are we doing this one next week, or do we want 2 weeks to do this?
2.
Tuesday.
Yeah, Hazel's away for the entire week of that week, so I'll get some proper grinding time into the weapons.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Jeeves beat Mike's meat for him.
But
See, full circle, guys.
Jives will put a load of Marvin Gaye on and just start seducing him.
we just got one question right at the end on Facebook.
oh no, what is it?
Jason McGill, who is new. He said, "First, I want to thank you for accepting me into the group. I found the podcast about a month ago, and I caught up a couple of days ago from episode 1.
Shut up.
Mike, take note.
On to the question. Have you ever made a game last longer than it should have? For example, I always hear you saying that a game is X hours long, but I can't go by that because I always take longer to play through games. In RPG specifically, I'll grind like a madman, dumping so many extra hours into it just because I enjoy it. Also, for the sit-stand debate, sit first, then stand to finish wiping, unless it's just that messy."
Oh my god.
Oh god. Man.
He's
Final
a hybrid
Fantasy
wiper.
15. I spent a lot of time on Final Fantasy 15 that I didn't need to,
For me, it was Dark Cloud 2.
and Mass Effect 2
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I'm with all them.
Messing
There's
around
a
in
few
the
games
town
I've
with the
100%ed,
georama.
like Ollie 2, where I got a platinum trophy on it. It was so difficult.
Oh
and
my god, how did you get a platinum? I didn't get a single trophy in that game, and I finished.
I have no idea, Tom. I destroyed my DualShock doing that game. All the thumbsticks wore away.
My god.
Proudest achievement of his life.
It really was.
If he ever has children, he'll look at it and go, "Oh, this isn't as glorious as the day I platinumed Ollie Ollie."
My children are going to be very embarrassed by this show already, Eric. So.
Oh dear, so will mine.
Yeah, but thanks, Jace. Thank you for a very late question.
And
We got
welcome
there
to the
in the
group.
Yes,
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you. Hope to
Immerse
see you
yourself.
about.
Please partake in the contest. I can't wait to see some of these pictures. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I think we should all try to do one as examples.
Oh yeah. So one of us
Nice.
will create some sort of post for that and pin it to the top to keep it fresh. You have 2 weeks to come up with something. Guys, that's going to do it for this week. We will see you all in 2 weeks.
Bye bye.
Tatty, bye.
Goodbye.